Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy live stream. We do this every single week and we share energy and we do a topic of interest to further our lives. Welcome. I hope you guys had a really good week. Today we are doing a lovely, we are doing a lovely, juicy, interesting reading on how can you shift, how can you move this energy, whatever energy it might be. So the topic might be a little bit broad, but we're just going to see whatever comes through with the messages. Of course, only take what resonates for you. So, let us move. I don't think I have any announcements to make here at the start, so we're just going to get right into the reading. So today we do have an anchor card. So the anchor card is just something that is anchoring all of the piles. It's not a pile to be chosen, but I know some people like to see the anchor card. So if you're one of those people, the anchor card we have today is the one. Pretty good anchor card to get here. So that's the anchor. So again, this one you can't choose. So I'll just put up all three piles that we have to choose from here at the start. This is pile number 1. This is pile number 2. And this is pile number 3. And I'll just put all of them up again so you can see them all here. If you need to take a moment to calm your energy, whatever, like go through whatever your process is to really center yourself, allow all the stress and the noise and the life stuff to kind of like drop to the background, fade away. I like to put my hands over my heart. Did you know that there are neural cells in your heart? So I just like to connect into that space, close my eyes, turn my gaze inwards. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Where you're connecting with your own energy. When you feel calm and connected into that space, you can go ahead and open your eyes and allow yourself and your intuition to guide you in whatever way it communicates to you, because keep in mind, all of life is a relationship. All of life is God. So it's just us communicating with God, and that language is ever evolving, ever morphing, but just try to tap in, hear the voice of God, allow yourself to be drawn in to your pile or multiple piles, keeping in mind that the way that you get drawn into your pile can sometimes be a clarifying message in itself, can sometimes highlight a way that maybe if you think your pile is one pile, but it really is the other two piles, it's like that could actually mirror the situation strongly, where it's like, well, maybe I thought that it was one thing, but then it's actually turning out to be something else, or I need to go through this before I can go through those other things. And yeah, it's bringing some kind of clarity in there. So, all right. All right, and I'm just going to use the prayer wand here really quick. Om Mani Padme Hum. This is a prayer wand that just kind of puts that out there. This is the script that's written at the top. It's repeated there. Okay, let's do it. How can you shift the energy we're going to get into? Pile number 1. Okay, pile number 1. We've got the sustainer. Sorry, I'm still getting used to my little buttons over here. Okay. Okay, so I feel, how can you shift this energy? The energy is already being shifted in this pile. I feel like you're en route, you're on transit. For some of you, this is you personally. I don't know what your situation is that you're asking about. For some, this is you personally. You're personally being transited from one place to another. You're already a part of this process. The process might not make sense to you, but the process is occurring, because a lot of times when it's okay, you were here and you're going here and you're in transit. Okay, well, over here it makes sense to you and you understand what here is, and you're moving over here to this other place, but you're not quite there yet, and that's going to be that solid understanding place. So when you're in transit, you're really in a place where a lot of things might not make sense to you, because you've got out with the old and in with the new, and so there's things kind of moving around you and you might not be sure what's staying and what's going or where you're exactly at. But there is a process that's already being in motion. And with this sustainer energy here, I kind of feel like the divine is protecting you, because there's something here that needs to be preserved. And it's not necessarily I'm noticing these two stars here, one is red and one is blue. It's ever so faintly. this is like this polar opposite energy, and it's not good for you to like acknowledge this polar opposite energy in a particular way. So I feel like spirit is trying to shield you, or trying to shield and guide you, or something here, because there's something more precious, there's something more important that needs to be preserved. And whatever it is that kind of like clay energy. So it might have to do with the earth realm. This could be something to do with like money or whatever. It's something of value that I'm hearing you don't exactly realize that you have. And it's like pure potential, whatever it is, because spirit's going to do something with that. So there's something here that needs to remain intact. And the way that, and you might not even realize what it is, because I feel like spirit's kind of encasing it in somehow, like, and that could be like blocking it even from your awareness or something like that. But there's something here that's like most important. But if you feel like you're being pulled here, like in opposite directions, like there's something here to do with black and white thinking for this pile very strongly. And so black and white thinking is kind of an interesting thing, the way that it's coming across here for this pile, because usually I'm a person that is kind of beating the drum for like move away from black and white thinking. A lot of things in life are more nuanced than black and white. We live in a world that is dual, yes, but usually those dual points create a pole, and there's an entire gradient that exists within the pole. And then we have this occur in many, many different areas of life, which gives a lot of variety, a lot of depth, and a lot of like gray area and a lot of wiggle room into our reality. And that is true. There's a lot of nuance. I feel like this pile is really good at nuance. And so I think it's about kind of putting things in their place, because black and white thinking can actually be helpful when it's applied to the proper space. And I feel like this is going to maybe confuse some of you or frustrate some of you, because it's going to be different for everybody's circumstance. I can't be like, okay, it's helpful to apply black and white thinking to this situation or like this sector of whatever this is that you're moving through, but it's not helpful to apply it over here. I feel like this is a part of your process here, and that might even be part of like preserving or working with whatever it is that's like most important, which might actually be your brain. And I want to talk about that because I'm hearing like Ramana Maharshi, who's this man up on the wall behind me. He is like an Indian sage. He's my teacher, and he believed a lot in silence. Like he really didn't communicate a lot with his words, but there is that understanding that the mind is a helpful tool, but it is a poor master. And I feel like this group is really learning how to navigate their mind, because the mind on the one hand is a very amazing thing. It's a very broad thing. There's a lot of overlapping systems in this thing that we call the mind. And you can see that in a lot of different ways. Like Freudian psychology, it's like the id, the ego, the super ego. That's one way to kind of divide up the mind. You have Vedic astrology. There's Mercury, right? That is the logical pattern finding thinking kind of mind. It's the skill oriented mind. But then you also have Moon, which is the entirety of the mind, which is emotional and things, right? The mind encompasses so many different things. So how do you use that toolbox? I think this group is like learning how to use the mind as a toolbox. And part of the tools in the mind's toolkit is this black and white thinking, because a major aspect of the mind, which I think is a major tool, it should not be leading the way. The mind should not be the master here. For you or for other people, there's something else that's much more important that the mind cannot understand. So this is also not the place for like logical argument, or I'm hearing the word logical fallacies. There could be, I'm kind of getting like both of these sides here are like rife with some kind of like logical fallacy or something. It's like if you only listen through the mind, because I just feel like the universe is kind of like trying to protect you from being too dented or impacted by that. But it's not for the mind to lead. Instead, it's for you to understand how to apply the mind and what parts of the mind at any given time. And that might feel daunting, or it might feel overwhelming. So this black and white thinking, basically what I mean is calling a spade a spade. And it's like a calorie saving function from the brain. Calories, I'm sure we all know, that's like a unit of measure of like energy being burned up, you know, like how fast energy is being burned up, because the mind is the most calorically expensive organ in your entire body. So a lot of what the mind does it can make us seem stupid, but it's just because we don't have an infinite amount of energy. We are limited beings. And so the mind often has to have these kind of shortcut saving measures. Again, it's helpful in certain areas, it's not helpful in other areas. And so I feel like there's certain things where it's like you just have to call a spade, where it's like I'm not going to think about that anymore, so I just have to kind of shove it into a category. But by all means, bring light of consciousness to that and be like, I know I'm shoving this in this category. I know that it's nuanced, I know that there's a lot more here, but just for the sake of me and my own processing and trying to get me through this like transition period, I'm expending no more energy on that. I'm shoving this into a category that's going to work for now. I have to like do these other things that I need to actually be dealing with in a more nuanced way, and I'm going to focus on those. It's kind of going into like energy saver mode. You know, when your phone kind of goes into energy saver mode, it's kind of like that, putting your brain in energy saver mode to get through this transition. I think some of you think the transition period, whatever, you think it's what's in front of you, and it's not. It's just a transition. There's something here that's just a transition, and I feel like you need to interact with this transition a lot more than you actually do. This is just, again, it's something to be weathered, and I'm hearing, you know, it's trouble doesn't last always, but what was the thing that, there's a parable with the king who asks the monk to help him make his decisions and stuff, like, how do I navigate my role as king? Which is like that sovereign energy that we all have. We are all king, like in our own minds and like making decisions in our own life. And he makes him a ring that says, what does it say? It's like nothing. It's basically like it's impermanent. It's like all changes or something, like everything always changes. Nothing ever stays the same. And that's what I feel like. Don't lose sight of that here, because I think that you might be viewing something as like, you need to make this almighty ultimate decision. No, you don't. You don't. It might be presenting itself as that way, or you might have like two sides here that are trying to get you to make this like almighty decision or something. It's just like, this is a transitionary period, whether you can see it or not. This is just a blip in time is what I'm hearing. I just heard 4 years. So this is just a 4 year transition in time. It's just like a 4-year period. And it's like, I'm seeing somebody like go through a tunnel and then be kind of like spit out on the other side of it. So this could even be like a longer term thing. And I do think it has to do with like choosing whatever it is that you're leaving behind. But I just keep in mind that the ultimate goal is union with God, like union with the divine. And then I'm hearing, know the destination and the journey becomes clear. So if you know that the destination is oneness, it's like unification with God, I feel like things are going to become more clear here, because something is very fuzzy. But again, it's because this black and white thinking, where it's this misapplication of black and white thinking. We don't want to ever demonize black and white thinking. It's most people struggle with black and white thinking, like overuse it, but that's most people. But like I said, I feel like this group doesn't. Like, you're a very nuanced thinker. You're a very nuanced person. You consider all things. And sometimes that gets very cumbersome. So I think it's like being easy on yourself, allowing yourself to just make a decision and stick to it. That's what I'm hearing. Like, just make a decision and stick to it. Understand that it is your decision to make. Watch the people who try to interfere in that space, who like have an agenda. I just heard the word politicize, who are trying to politicize that, or they're trying to insert themselves into your process. Too much, like they're trying to tell you what to think, or they're trying to get you to choose one of these sides, and they're like, you're with me or you're stupid, you're this or you're fucked up, and some, it's like, watch out for that kind of stuff. That's the wrong kind of black and white thinking. Instead, seek to understand. Okay, so if this has to do with people and their viewpoints, the groups that they affiliate with or something, you should seek to understand why, because they're not in fact saying that or aligning with that because they're stupid. That's the wrong kind of black and white thinking. There is a reason and there is an intelligence to why they are thinking the way that they are thinking. And if you can understand that, it's not saying that you agree with them. It's not saying that you think that that's the right path for you necessarily, or that you want to go over there and do what they're doing. But you should at least seek to understand it and give people their dignity and their grace and their sovereignty. If you want people to give you your sovereignty, you have to give people their sovereignty. But yeah, mostly I just feel like this is, and also if you can, I feel like I'm in the middle of a football stadium right now, and I'm just hearing like, your mud on your face, your big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place. I'm just seeing people like with their face painted and their like big foam fingers, and they're all like drunk and like, and it's belligerence, like just kind of all around. And I'm just like, I don't really care about this football game. Where's the concession stand? Like that feels like me in this. That's okay, honey. Go find the concession stand, because there's people who are there for the Broncos and there's people who are there for the Chiefs, and it's okay that you're there for the $5 foot long. That's fine. That's totally fine. It takes everybody, and as long as you are making your decision in whatever way you feel like is best. And I just feel like, yeah, there's people that could be trying to convince you to do this or to do that, or they could be giving you resources. And if those resources aren't helpful for you, then don't use them. And like, this is a matter of you like making up your own decision, making up your own mind, and trouble doesn't last always. Like, this is just, I'm hearing this is a very small cycle. I feel like some of you are making this like very big in your mind, but yeah, potentially you're also in like a period of transition. So let me just, we will rock you. Yeah. It just feels like that. So I just want to remind you that the heart and soul of this particular pile is that the transitioning is already happening. It's happening to you. It's happening through you. It's happening around you. There's not like a lot that you need to do. I feel like there's something here that needs to be preserved that you might not even realize that that's what it is. But it's like once you get through this transition period, that clay energy that I'm seeing, the universe is going to do something with that. But it's just a matter of, I don't know, because I'm seeing you go like warp speed through a tunnel, and I'm just seeing like certain things kind of flying off of you, and I don't know, it just feels like the transition is happening to you, through you, for you, around you. It's just happening. Okay, so I drew some cards from the bowl. Oh, my walnut bowl. I'll show you guys. I know you want to see this because it's like the highlight of all of our, ooh, look at my pretty walnut bowl. If you are new, if you're joining us, that had no significance. I just really found that walnut bowl at this antique shop thing, and I just love it, and I just want to show people it, and that's really it. There's no agenda. I just want to show people it. For some, that's like part of this message. It's like, there's no agenda. I just like this bowl. I think that you might like this bowl. Look at this bowl. So yeah, just like find things like that you like. Oh, and if you're sharing something, make sure it doesn't come from a place of an agenda. I think it's something like that. It's like, be simple. It's like, I just like this bowl. This bowl isn't for the Broncos or the Chiefs. This bowl is, I just like this bowl. I found it for $10. I thought it was a steal. Anyways, okay, so why exactly did the betrayal of trust hurt you? So for some of you, there could have been a betrayal of trust here, but I'm also getting like, if you get pulled off here, off your like rocker here, like off your center, into one pole or another, I just feel like you might feel betrayed. There's something here with betrayal. It could also be that like somebody else tells you betrayed them. You can't win in this situation. I feel like you just can't win. I just heard it's better to keep your head down, just be quiet, fully engage your own process. You don't have to explain your process to other people. This kind of, I'm wondering for some of you, this feels political. Like it could actually be political. Like I know we're in the middle of an election cycle here and people get like their panties all in a twist about that. It's good that people care about politics, but it's bad that people don't have basic social skills. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? But even if it's not like related to that, I feel like there's still something where people are politicizing certain things that are not inherently political. I just heard like your speech or like your body, like if you're not inherently bringing that energy into the conversation, it's like somebody could be trying to magnetize like your energy towards one pole or another pole. Does that make sense? And it's because that's the negative black and white thinking. Some of you might want to rail against that because you know that somebody's like putting you into a category and they're really reducing you. And it's like, I don't know, this feels like a mess. This feels like a madhouse, like of a situation. And again, I just feel like it's best for you to like mind your business, go get your snacks, like, you know, and just focus on yourself. And because it's best not to open, you know that this is going on around you. So I think you know what people are like safe people to speak to, and they've demonstrated that they are sane and like rational and, you know, to be around. And then there's other people who just aren't. And also it's like some people, it's not like a flaw within themselves, but some people just, maybe you just know that now, like you love them dearly, they love you, but it's like, you just know that it's like not a good time. Okay. Admit your mistakes and take responsibility. So, okay, so you might want to journal around these things too. So why, the first one I'm just going to remind you was, why exactly did the betrayal of trust hurt you? So if something did happen here, like why exactly, like maybe spend some time journaling about that, do your morning pages, stream of consciousness. Don't try to police your own thoughts. There could be a lot of thought policing going on around you in this environment. So just try to just rise above that. Okay. It's not about that. I'm hearing that Albert Einstein quote that problems cannot be resolved on the same level of consciousness that gave rise to them. And I'm seeing this kind of whack-a-mole game, or this pole, the two poles where it's like when one gets pushed in, the other pops out, and then if you push it back, then the other pops out. And this is the level of consciousness. Like you got to pop up like above it and see from like the total perspective, that holistic perspective. And it's coming through like that moon energy, like see the totality of the mind, see how emotions are affecting you and other people in the situation. Focus on like yourself and just getting through this transition. Admit your mistakes, take your responsibility. If it's not safe for you to admit your mistakes to other people right now, then maybe just pause, like just admit your mistakes to yourself. And, I just heard it's between you and God. Like your process is between you and God. If you feel like you betrayed somebody here, then maybe, and you feel like that person's safe, then maybe apologize. I just feel like now's not the right time. I feel like it's almost like wait till you get to the other side of this transition. But yeah, so admit your mistakes, take responsibility. That might move the energy between you and this other person as well. If you lead with what you feel like you could have done better or something. Again, only if you feel safe. And that is black and white thinking. That is a very good place to put it. Is this a safe person or not a safe person? You just, if you, do I feel safe around this person? Yes or no? Yeah, that person is nuanced and they're not all bad. But if you feel, do you feel safe around this person or do you not feel safe around this person? Go ahead and stick that person in a category, honey. Okay. How do you intend to avoid making the same mistakes again? Some of you, these are like questions like to help with if you do have a conversation like with someone here, which again, I kind of feel like it's after this transitionary period, then I just heard like it's not about fault finding, it's about like fact finding and just like actually being like introspective or like kind of leading the way. But you should have gone through this process yourself and have your own answers to these questions before you then go like asking them of other people. And I just heard, I know you will, because again, this group is like very nuanced. But so yeah, how do you intend to avoid making the same mistakes again? But I feel like that can't be realized. This would be premature, I think, to have these conversations during the transition period, because you need the whole experience here before you can like reflect on it. Does that make sense? Because you're still in the goo. You're still in the goop. The caterpillar has turned to goop. So it's like the caterpillar, especially like when they're a caterpillar and when they're a goop, them and other people cannot see like the butterfly that's like coming out of it. It's easier to have conversations with other people about the butterfly and about the process if you see the butterfly, you know? And it's not like a thought experiment of like, but what if it turned into a butterfly? And they're like, what if it turned into a pile of shit? You know, it's like if ifs and buts were candy and nuts. We don't, you know, it's like it's hard to talk about certain things in the hypothetical. So instead, just leave it. I think some of you are feeling pressured for whatever reason. It feels like pressured or drawn out or like magnetized to be vocal or something, but don't. It's not the time. Wisdom says it's not the time. Allow people their sovereignty, focus on yourself, get through this transitionary period, and then you can kind of repair your relationships or have like a more calm, the kind of conversation you want, which I feel like is calm and it is civil and it is like, again, reflective. It can't be had right now. And I think you just need to sort of accept that because you have to see the total mind. I think some of you are trying to solve this with the Mercury mind, or that's what somebody's telling you that you can do, or they want you to believe that, but it's actually to bait you into conversation because they want you to think it's Mercury, that it's problem solving. Well, let's find the patterns, and you don't want to just focus on the patterns. It's moon. It's like there's emotions. Let's talk about the id part of it. What does your id say in regard to this? What does your ego say? What is your super? It's like multifaceted. People can't meet you there in this transition period, and that's okay. And I feel like that's actually part of some universal plan here. So, and it's just not, it's right now is actually a time for separation, and it's all well and good. It's kind of like an in breath and an out breath and an in breath and an out breath. And it's okay for sometimes for people to be like divided. It's okay. And sometimes that's part of using your mind well, is because sometimes the mind, especially the ego, can be like, I'm uncomfortable, so something is wrong here. And sometimes you're uncomfortable, but nothing's wrong because you just have to go through this weird, awkward time for whatever reason. And it'll make sense to you like once you're through it, but it doesn't make sense before then. And I know that we've all gone through experiences like that. I feel like this is going to be unpleasant. Like I just kind of feel like you're always maybe going to remember this time as an unpleasant time, or just, where you were confused and you didn't know what to do. You're always going to remember it as like a time of division, or just like, shut up. Like, where is the popcorn? Kind of a time, but you'll be glad when it's over. I just feel like you'll be glad when this is over. Okay. You don't need to monitor their phone, bank account, etc. So yeah, it's like the detail energy isn't good. And it's that Mercury energy. The Mercury is like, it is conversation. It's opposite energy. It's like, especially, I feel like right now having conversations with Gemini energy. So this is the people that are around you every single day, siblings. This is like the friends that are around you, but there's a duality to Gemini. So these are people that might be either pushing and pulling you like you're like you are a meat slab that got thrown into a pit full of dogs, and everybody's just pulling you like in other like directions. So it could be that you feel like that, or it could be that like you know where you stand in this, and it's like somebody who's the exact opposite. Like it's just not don't. You see how it just came out like gobbledygook? Like it's falling on deaf ears, because in order for there to be a conversation, people have to be able to be receptive, and it's just not on offer. But you don't need to pick apart like the details here. That's actually not helpful. And your friendships are important to you. I just want to remind you, like, just because people have different opinions, it doesn't make them like horrible. And I think some of you feel villainized, but just also make sure you're not villainizing other people who are different. Differences like help make the world go round. Like I said, there's an intelligence into why people are thinking the way that they are. There is an intelligence to it. There is a reason. And I think that you'll find that you have a lot more in common with these people or this person than you realize. You just might have different ways of thinking, like, to get there. Like, the values feel very common here. So the detail energy just isn't helpful now because the emotions are like too high, I think. Yeah, feeling hurt, shocked, or sick. It's just going to lead to that. I feel like if you try to have conversations with your friends, your siblings, your children, the people that are around you, the barista, leave her out of it, honey. She has a job to do, and they make her smile at you. So, it's not the time. It's just not the time. It's just kind of like, and I also heard a friendly smile and not being volatile like that goes a long way in times like these. So if this is, because again, it feels political, but not for everybody does this have to do with something actually political. It's just some politicizing things that should not be politicized. Humanity, like human beings or like different aspects of human life. If you can just be that person with like a wink and a nod, a warm smile. I'm not trying to put my agenda on you in any way. See how you have freedom to make up your own mind, and I trust you fully and completely. And I don't think you're, retarded in your development or lost in the sauce or confused or like having ill will in any way because you're different from me and you're going through your own process. See how I tend and protect that for you? That feels so good to people. And I think it will also help you illuminate the people who also feel that way in the sauce, because you're not as alone as you think you are. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a realistic goal, and then just pay attention to how you feel and how you're making others feel and all that. And also exercise might help as well, just to move energy, water, the things that we know kind of move the waters of the body. Exercise, get out for a walk, drink your water. Just anything to kind of move that energy. If you need to cry, I just heard as well. Or I just pictured somebody like listening to music in the shower and crying, like to just kind of move energy. If this feels overwhelming, because for some of you, this is like, this is something that goes like right to the heart of something. Like it could be happening in your job. It could be happening in your home. It could feel like there is no escape from this or something. It's okay to just like cry. For some of you, that might actually start a conversation. I'm not telling you to put on a performance. I'm just saying, like, if you are exercising more, somebody may actually start that conversation, and you can just, even if you say like, this is all like very stressful, I'm just feeling stressed out. It actually might turn a light on for somebody that their behavior and trying to insert themselves in your beliefs, or like that it's really inappropriate. And that actually might, where they might have felt righteous and justice, to push themselves on you, and that's the only way forward or something. I think it might actually help them to reflect on the actual impact that they are having on people, and that they are actually wrong, and that's it's causing people to kind of bristle. Their approach is wrong, and the way they're trying to have a conversation and the timing of it and everything. There's a lot wrong here besides something that somebody's focused on. So, because there's something more important that needs to be preserved that is being kind of lost, where smartness and like kind of mind and guile and intelligence and strategy is going to say like, oh yeah, this is a good way. Wisdom knows that there's another thing here that's more important, that is way more important to be preserved. And I think it's the heart of like friendship and the ability to have conversations with people in the long term. This is kind of devil energy. It's like, I know that I can kind of take advantage of our friendship to have this particular conversation with you. They're going to blow up their friendship with you, aren't they? Because it's disrespectful or something. And yeah, but you know that there's something more important. And that's what I feel like is being brought up. Because it's obscuring the unity energy, but there is like kind of unity energy here. So, okay. And then, oh, money paid me home, oh, money paid me home, oh, money paid me home, oh, money paid me home. And oh, money paid me home is like the seeds of enlightenment. So the seeds of enlightenment are here. I just heard pray for them, and just pray that like, you could sing like that chant if it's something that resonates with you, but it's like, you're just kind of, I don't know. I just kind of get you being kind of quiet, and like, maybe this is a time for you to go in your shell and again, just focus on your routines, your habits, like the things that make you feel good and like kind of like help you move energy. And this person is going to kind of observe you, and then remember what's most important, or that's the best that you can hope for in this situation. And hope that it leads them to unification with God, or like helping them to see humanity, like the humanity in all of it, not just their own. This feels like I'm hearing you only see your own pain. You only see your own pain. You only see your own sovereignty. You only see, but you can't put that in context. That I also have my pain and my own sovereignty. You feel unheard. I feel unheard. Everyone feels unheard. So anyways, I'm just going to leave that there. It's heart energy. Heart energy is the way through the heart of the matter. And I'm hearing that India RE song. It's like, I'm trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak. And my thoughts seem to scatter, but I think it's about forgiveness. Forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore. Ooh, boy. That's a beautiful song. And whenever I listen to that song, I just kind of picture a slideshow of humanity. I see like births and deaths and people running on the playground and people sobbing and like, you know, I love that song. So anyways, that's pile 1. Okay. Show you a story good for... Okay. It's getting scarce. It's about my mother. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that was pile number 1. I'll just have a little of this. And then we can move on. Actually, I'm going to put my gloss on. And I'll just put these up for those of you who are joining us here. So if you need to pick your pile, that's pile 1. We just did. That's pile 2. That's what we're on. And that's pile 3, which we will be moving towards. So 2 is what we're on. And I'll just put the pile selection up in case you want to take a little gander. Just tuning in. Welcome. You came at a good time because we're right in between piles. We just finished pile number 1 and we're moving to pile number 2. Okay. Is this new? Welcome, Maddie. Okay. Cool. Oh my gosh, Damien, we can see your face. Hi. You're beautiful. Okay. What does pile 3 say? It says Thanatos. And I don't do well with Roman numerals, so girl, I don't know. It's a big one. Okay, moving on here. We'll just... Oh, money, pay me home. Oh, money, pay me home. Oh, money, pay me home. Oh, money, pay me.
Thanatos is 73.
73. There we go. That's my nerd husband popping in from the side, helping out. Okay. Pile 2. All right. The lover. Okay. I just heard crystallize. Crystals coming through. Somebody's name could be Crystal. Crystals could be important. Seeing amethyst or maybe like a citrine crystal here might help move energy. Also, obsidian is coming through, and I'm seeing the color gold. So working with those colors, those crystals, those stones may help you here. Okay, this one's funny. So how can you move the energy here in pile number 2? I feel like it's funny because there's kind of like a, how do I want to say this? Like an ignorance check. That's hard. That's the way that it's coming through to me. It's like some kind of... It's like, because I'm going to tell you how you can move this energy. But I do think that there's a journey first of like, can you get yourself in the right category? Do you know who you actually are in the situation to all the people that are involved? Because I feel like you might play a different role to different people. Somehow you're wrapped up in this. This is a situation where there's like a lot of different nexus points. There's a lot of different connectors. I do think there's a lot of people involved and there's a lot of mirroring that is involved. So part of this is like connecting with the heart space and allowing it to guide through, because I feel like when you know it, there's like a choice here between 2 lovers. And it actually like connected to that choice between 2 lovers is a choice about you and who you will be. Because I feel like these 2 lovers, they are very different from each other on the inside. Very different. extremely different. And I'm kind of picturing you like a magnet, and whoever you choose to be, however you choose to conduct yourself in this situation, is going to magnetize you in one direction or another. Because you know how a magnet on one side, it's going to draw itself to a magnet, but then it will repel another magnet. So I feel like there's a crossroads here where you have these kind of like two energies. Now, one of these lovers, I think, has received a better treatment from you than the other one. Or you could be like, flip the energies if you have to. But again, I feel like this is kind of like a domino effect, like dominoes kind of in a line, to do with karmic energy. So one of these, I am kind of hearing the ugly duckling story. So there's this kind of question about like, one is a duck, like a duckling, and the other one is a swan. But I feel like it might actually flip for you. Like as the situation kind of like progresses, like truth of these people and who they are on the inside is going to make manifest on the outside in the way you feel about yourself and the way you feel around them once a decision is made here to unite with one of them and to remove from the other one. Because I feel like there's one person here who at first glance you put on a pedestal or like you thought was a swan, and I just heard she's beauty and she's grace, she's Miss United States, right? And she's elegance and grace. Like that's kind of like what we think of with a swan, right? And it's for all of these like kind of wrong reasons. It's someone who thinks, because this is what I feel like, it's the spiritual values versus the worldly values, and understanding how they feed into each other, which is karma. This world is built on karma. Karma is a neutral term. I know like a lot of times when we say karma, we kind of mean like, oh, this person's negative or whatever, but karma is a neutral term. There's always karma unfolding, but there is a colloquial way people use the term karma and karmic, especially in the tarot community. It's, oh, okay, this is a person where there's a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of blockages, there's a lot of trouble, there's a lot of like very difficult kind of friction-oriented lessons being learned. And I do feel like one of these is kind of in that classical colloquial sense that these terms are used. One of these people, it's the duck energy, is actually the swan, and it's the soulmate energy, and this is the person of God that kind of has deep value and is these values that I'm talking about: beauty, grace, sincerity, elegance. They conduct themselves with like a finesse. They are whole, they're complete, they're unique, they're different. They stand out, like that kind of an energy, because it emanates from who they actually are. There's another person here where their karmic lesson, their karmic role that they're playing here, has given them the covering of a swan, because they have to tempt people who may not know themselves or who may be confused about their values, and what is actually valuable and what is actually beautiful and what is actually gracious within themselves or without. So somebody who's like got more superficial values. This is kind of someone who's meant to, again, magnetize people away from the real deals here. And it is actually, even though it's maybe painful if you've gone through this in some kind of way, like it's maybe painful to have someone else be chosen over you, especially someone you can probably see through, and that you understand that something that's going on is very superficial. Yeah, that's probably very painful, but it is actually a boon. It's a benefit in the longer term of things, because somebody here that would go towards that is actually very superficial, or they're very confused. That person would not value you. They would not see you fully for who you are, and they would kind of disrespect you. And I feel like there's something that's gone through that. Maybe that's the energy that you want to shift in one way or another. But there's multiple people that are involved here, which is why I kind of have to carry through this, because I don't know where you're at in the situation. And to be honest, you might, it is like you're going to be a lover. Like you're going to be Prince or Princess Charming to one of these people. But the way in which you go about doing that, the person you become, the values that you embody, it is going to become everything that one of these people wants, and nothing. It's going to repel like somebody else here, because they want, these two lovers, they want very different people. So there's a question of your own heart here. And that's why the wrong way to navigate this, to move this energy, is to look out at these lovers and go, which one do I want? That's wrong. It's, who do I want to be? What are my actual values? What's guiding my steps here? Because again, there is no way to gain both of these people's respect. There is no way to be all things to both of these people. They're that different on the inside. And to become one's butt buddy is to become the other's worst nightmare, or somebody they find very unappealing. That is going to happen. So it's just, you have to make sure that you're in alignment with your own heart here. I feel like this is actually something that's already happened in the past, where this energy is actually being revealed. So like I said, one of these people is, on first blush, looks like a swan. She's beauty and she's grace. And this could be a he as well, but that's just the way I'm hearing it. Beauty, grace, elegance, poise, respect. That's what they look like. And this other person looks like the duck, but it's like the duck from the Ugly Duckling story, which the Ugly Duckling, if you forget that story, it's very brutal. That duckling almost gets pecked to death like multiple times. People are very cruel to this duckling. And so you may have known that. And again, like if I kind of feel like some of you, it's like you're going to be one or the other of these people. And you may not have your finger on the pulse, to be honest with you, of exactly which one of these people you have been, the way that you showed up in that situation. And no judgment here, because it's all about the truth kind of being revealed, so that you can deal with yourself and clear out your own karmas here in the situation. Oh, mani padme hum. We're all on our way to enlightenment. You're never going to get there if you can't deal with the reality of who you are and exactly what the lay of the land is. So it's never about that, like, like, oh, okay, well, if you admit it, then let's just condemn you forever. But like, how do you get up out of that energy? What decisions do you need to make to get yourself out of this karmic situation? Because this to me feels like a codependent mess. I feel like every person in this situation is codependent in some capacity. And I think like victim, rescuer, persecutor, I think once you're on that victim, rescuer, persecutor triangle, which you may want to spend time with, researching, looking up, understanding how it functions, then you can actually switch roles. You seamlessly and very quickly because of the way that energy operates. But I do feel like each one of these people has an entry point into that victim, rescuer, persecutor with a different, I do think you've got a persecutor here, which I think is the swan. The person who at first blush looks like the swan. I'm going to finish talking about that here in just a second. I think they're actually very persecutorial. They're very aggressive, because did you know swans are actually very aggressive? They're mean birds because they're territorial, but they have this kind of, they can become very fixated, very aggressive, very terrorizing. And I feel like that's who this person actually is. And it's because they are actually very superficial. I think they like to compete, they like to rival, but it's all superficial. It has to do with looks. And this is the kind of person that if you get involved in a partnership with this person, they're going to drive away every single person who is meaningful to you. This is, again, I'm hearing Gemini. So this is children. This is the kind of person that has you go against your own kids. This is a warning for some of you. If you do have kids with this person, this feels, especially if this person's a female and they put their little bonnet on and they run into the masculine energy and they're like, our 12-year-old whose brain isn't fully developed and they're literally my child. They're being mean to me and I need you to go scold them. That is a child. That child needs understanding. They need lesson and guidance. I want you to turn to that person and say, why on earth are you, his mother, not equipped to teach this child a lesson, to hold him accountable, to enact discipline? Why? Do not ever turn. I'm kind of hearing in my mind, this is somebody who's like, don't talk to your mother that way, right? Which is like kind of a normal thing that a lot of us have heard. I was a teenage girl once, right? Don't talk to your mother that way. There's don't talk to your mother that way. Don't talk to anybody that way, kind of thing. And then there's don't talk to your mother that way, because your mother is our God and we worship her and I lick her. I was about to go off on a tangent there, but I have no sense of self and I just want her to love me. And so I will fight you. I will bare knuckle box you in the parking lot to, you know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of energy. Ugh. This is a person who will have you fighting your kids, who will have you divisive with your kids, male or female. That's just the way that it was kind of coming through to me. I'm seeing this SNL skit in my mind. This man is like, I'm your mother, like over the chicken nuggets. That's random. But anyways, yeah, it's like they'll have you fighting with your kids, your siblings, your friend group. They're very divisive. But at first they appear beauty and grace. She's beauty and she's grace. This is very Regina George energy, where I feel like, again, the people who are of the same person's gender might be divided, because there's going to be some people, I think, who fall for it. And then there's going to be other people who know that this person's mean, because I'm hearing the part in Mean Girls where Regina George, she's like, oh, I love your oh my gosh, I love your bracelet. Where'd you get it? But she does it to be rude. Oh my gosh, I love your bracelet. Where'd you get it? Like, it's that kind of energy. And it's like, so that's this like Regina George. And of course, she's got everything on a material level that makes them look beauty and she's grace. She's really a dick face. And some people know that, right? Okay, but then there's this, this duckling energy. I'm so sorry. There's this duckling energy that is, it's funny because a duck and a swan both like go to the pond, right? They both live on water. So it's not necessarily that this person's in the wrong environment. It's just that they're around the wrong people. And these people don't understand them. And I'm seeing from the prince in me, remember that movie with Julia Stiles? And there's a prince, right, of some made up territory land. And he goes to America. I think it was Wisconsin, dairy country. And then he meets Julia Stiles' character and everything. And she comes from like a regular hardworking family or whatever. And those values are instilled in her. And they're very opposite. They have like kind of opposite upbringings. And, you know, the prince has his little like butler man that's like following him around. And the butler says something like, people who are in two different worlds and they have like two different characters, like maybe don't go together, and that's not right. And he was like, just because she's poor doesn't mean that she's like got a bad character. And he goes, the one whose character is higher that I'm referring to is hers. And so I feel like there could be a class kind of thing or something where this, because again, this ugly duckling is not an ugly duckling. This ugly duckling is going to grow up into being a very beautiful swan. But swans know that you have to go through this kind of weird, awkward transitionary period. And I think I'm using, in this case over here with this duckling figure, using like the term swan as like really coming into yourself. Really having this like being integrated in yourself. Nikki, thank you so much for the super chat. This ugly duckling energy, like turning into the swan is kind of like, it's coming across in a refined energy. It is standing out head and shoulders above other people. It's being very finessed and very refined in one's mannerisms. It's being looked at as beauty and she's grace. But this is somebody who kind of has had to come up through like a very awkward time where they didn't know who they were, but this is somebody who is very fully themselves. And so as they start to embody that more and more, it's like the beauty that's inside of them that they're bringing out is more and more recognized. So again, as time goes on, the reality of these two people is going to make themselves known. You've got one that looked like a swan at the beginning here, but actually it's kind of the same old. Like there's something very traditional. I feel like it's trapping energy. It's all the people you'd want to be around you. I'm talking soul fam, in your child group, in your friend group. There's this person causes divisiveness, doubt, might even speak about you negatively behind your back. They've got to control everything, and it's because they're deeply territorial. It's not love energy. They're not territorial for any reason that you could feel flattered by. It's incredibly disrespectful. The same way that if you go towards this swan person, you will have disrespected this other person by putting this swan energy up on a pedestal. Because if this was me and I was this ugly duckling and somebody went towards a swan because they were like, oh, she's just like this ugly duckling, let's peck her to death, I would literally be so grossed out. Like, no. No, go, you made your bed, go lie in it. Like, and I feel like that's what I mean. It's like you're going to become everything that somebody wants you to be, which is superficial over here. It's all gloss. It is all veneer over here. It's very superficial. It's put on a face for the world. It's very entrapping, very aggressive. It's around a person that is subtly digging at people that are kind and don't deserve it in order to run them off, like the good people. Accusing, like it's all twisted, flip-floppy energy over here. But this duck energy that's growing into the swan, it's very opposite, and it is very like elevated. It's very different. It's very unique because this person's growing into like their actual self, and it's not superficial, and it is actual beauty, and it is actual grace, and it comes from in here. And I kind of, if there's a masculine in the middle, I kind of wonder what's going on cognitively here, because it's obvious that this duckling was pecked to death. And again, I'm hearing the ugly duckling, but I'm hearing like you just don't understand. So it's like once this person gets out from these aggressive people, they're going to have people around them that love and support them and that understand the swan thing. Like they're also on their path to being a swan. They're swans themselves. So they get it. So this is kind of reminding me of the process-oriented mindset, because that ugly duckling energy grows into the swan. And that's, they see the process. They see that you're in process, you know, whereas these other people don't get it because they're not on that same trajectory. And it feels very fixed mindset. It feels like jealousy. It feels like just trying to tear somebody down. It feels like the opposite of beauty and the opposite of grace, but that they're trying to project, or they're trying to defame, or they're trying to tar and feather like this person's energy because they want to keep them like stuck. Or yeah, it's like they try to make them feel bad and like they don't belong. Or this person could come from another culture. They could have different idiosyncrasies, and this group just wants to, but again, this person's character is elevated. They're actually the one that's more elevated. And so it's all wrong here. It's all wrong that's going on. And this person doesn't want a partner that is superficial and that would gravitate towards those things. And if you've gone down a path that has been very superficial, you don't understand how far apart you are. So this kind of gets back to the How do you shift this energy? First, you have to see that very clearly, that you cannot be, I think you have these two options, but you cannot be a person who pleases both of these people, because again, they are so different. And maybe, I don't know, they could be attractive in their own way or something. So, because I think, okay, well, I have two choices. Not just only do you have two choices in lovers, you have two choices that you could go down two very different life paths. Two very different definitions of success, two very different definitions of love and attractiveness, handsomeness, beauty, like whatever this is. These two people, very, very different perspectives. This person just wants an ornament. This person, if you don't have character, they'll find you unattractive, even if you're Brad Pitt, you know? It's very much like that. And so once you have made your choice here to unify again and who you're going to be, like with this one, I also think this has to do with a spiritual path or religious path or something, how you relate to the divine, then I feel like that's probably the situation that you sit in. Okay. And that's like where this lover comes in. And I'm noticing like the ball here, like in the throat. So if you are this like ugly duckling person, which again, remember I said, there's this kind of ignorance test. Do you actually have an understanding of who you've been in this situation? Because not everybody does. And I'm not saying that to say like you definitely don't and you're not, and like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that part of the mirroring and the confusing is this is going to kick up ego defense mechanisms, because it goes right to the heart of identity, you know, of I need to protect this kind of image of myself, because this swan energy that's not actually a swan, that's very aggressive, and I think swans can be kind of dirty and stuff, like it's kind of underhanded, negative on the inside, you know. They think of themselves as being the creme de la creme. They really do. It's kind of narc energy. It's giving that. And so they're going to misunderstand this message, and therefore kind of they made their bed, they have to lie in it kind of thing. Lie in it. They have to lie in it. A lot of lies over here. I mean, they're living a lie. Like that's what this is. But this other energy, right? So it's like you come out on the other end. So there's something here about the throat chakra and vocalizing. If you are this ugly duckling person, if you have been disrespected, if you've been made fun of for being different because people didn't understand you, it's about speaking that. I feel like you haven't spoken in a long time, or it's like you haven't spoken specifically about this. You haven't talked about the pain. You haven't talked about feeling disrespected. You haven't talked about maybe the disgust that you feel like towards this other person who's chosen someone else over you for superficial reasons. Your disappointment in who that person turned out to be. Your hope that you had in the situation, like maybe you haven't, but it is like for you not to like be performative, but for you in some way to speak that. It's like you have a golden truth. Gold kind of represents that alchemy, taking lead, because somebody gave you a lead balloon, and like turning it to gold. And so I feel like you have something really powerful to say, but this feels like you're marinating. This feels like a knowledge. This feels like a skill set. This feels like a technology, and it feels whole as well. So it's not just spewing just to spew, because again, you might be in process. You still might be processing these certain things, but either it's going to be something that you make, like something very golden, something that you have to give the world. This is going to somehow solidify itself. So whether this is in a craft that you build up, you know, maybe to get yourself through this, it's like you started making something. I just heard jewelry. Like you just started making jewelry, or you started something here that's helped shift your process that you then have to give to the world. Or again, it's just like telling your story that's going to help alchemize other people, because it doesn't come from a hollow place. It comes from a very real place. This is actually going to be like very helpful. That's how you can help shift the energy, because it is like, this is a group, this ugly duckling energy. They probably have learned not to trust people because they got pecked to death, like, or nearly pecked to death, and they were treated so rudely by people for absolutely no reason, and hateful reason as well. Hateful, spiteful, jealous, misunderstanding, ignorance, fixed mindset, just around the wrong kind of people, right? So you probably learn not to trust. You could be an introverted person. You just kind of keep to yourself. You might journal. I think you're like an internal processor, right? So you've processed so much internally that one day, like it's going to come out of you, and it's going to feel like a different energy, but you should kind of push through that in order to gift that to yourself first and foremost. Because again, it's like you've laid the golden egg. That's what I feel like. I feel like you're the goose that lays the golden egg, or you're the swan that lays the golden egg, but it's like out your throat chakra, or it's something, or for some it's like a necklace, or I don't know. It's to do with the throat chakra, which does have to do, like for me, I'm hearing gains, self-confidence. It's like building in your self-confidence, because I think this situation might have made you at first feel very low, but this is a boon. To lose people like this is a boon to your energy, and it's kind of like you're dumping your baggage and you are actually climbing in your energy, and you're going to receive a gift is what I'm hearing. Like, you are the gift. You were the gift here. You were always the gift, but it's like, I think you had to come to realize that, because I think your energy, your self-esteem has always been knocked because people have been so rude to you, or they just haven't understood you. And so you've had to grow in that self-confidence. And so as a natural growth of that, like, you will start talking. This other energy can't stop talking, I feel like, because they're controlling. And so it's like they always have to kind of frame things or whatever. And I'm actually seeing this energy as a cannonball. And it's weird because I feel like over here, if this is going on, this like superficial kind of couple, this is a person that likes to get this masculine energy, or flip the energies if you want to, and point it at the people they love. It gives them a sense of power, and it makes them feel attractive to play the victim and to get this person to ruin all their other relationships, forsake all others, and choose me. This person wants to be worshipped like a god, because they're a narcissist. They may well talk like a spiritual talk. They may well, but this is just community narcissism, where it's like they pretend to be like philanthropic. They pretend to be nurturing. They pretend to be those kinds of things. And that's, again, where I'm seeing like this the one energy, of how God is worshipped and how God is brought into the equation. It's very fake over here. But it might be very convincing, because I think maybe it seems gold, but this is like a gold-plated cannonball. And I feel like that's going to be a constant experience. I do think there could be 3 major relationships that are lost over here. Again, this is going to have to reveal doors are closing on this person is what I'm hearing. And it's like they're reaping what they've sown here. So in terms of shifting the energy, it's like you're going through your karma. So if you're this duckling person, you're going through a glow up, you're regaining your power and your confidence, you're trusting yourself. You always knew. It's like you had a vision, you knew where you were going, you knew what you wanted to be, and you didn't want to be a hypocrite above all else, and you didn't want to be superficial in your pursuits, but you wanted to be authentic, you wanted to be your true self. You thought this masculine energy or this feminine energy, whoever this soulmate energy is, wanted that as well, but they don't. If they're over here with this other person, they don't. They're superficial. And so over here, that person enjoys, either they do this, there's a cannonball energy that like comes out of the throat chakra. They like to, and it's all like, under the guise of love. It's like, to win my love, call your sister a bitch. It's like, or squash our child's dreams. But they don't ever like say it like that. It's all about control, and it's all about control. And they might even do this to each other. It's like they try to control each other. So that, it's like, you have to start realizing that. You have to start realizing the folly in the throat chakra energy, that it is a lead balloon. It's this cannonball energy. You got to stop that. Stop that. You need to make a decision that you're better than this, and that you need to leave this, and that you no longer want to live a superficial lifestyle. These energies are karmic to each other. In no world should they be together. The only reason they're attracted to each other is for superficial reasons, which is that devil energy. It is that karmic energy. These are not soulmates. They don't have anything. The people they need to be for their soul's journey would naturally have pushed them apart from each other. The fact that it didn't, this is because they have a karmic lesson that they are making manifest. I think there is somebody here who is dominated in this space, and there's somebody who dominates. And whoever dominates, it's under this I'm the swan energy. I'm the host, I'm the most beautiful, I'm the this, I'm the that, They really act like they're kind of like the prize to be won. They want people to fight over them, kind of thing. And it needs to be seen for what it is. It's very superficial. And this person's actually very unelegant and unbeautiful. They start shit. And it just needs to be seen clearly so that you can make the decision to separate from this person. I feel like this person could be playing really nice right now. Like, they could be playing really sweet. They could be trying to like butter you up, because some of you have actually started this, like, because you need to move the energy. Well, yeah, you need to get away from this person who's like a very negative energy in your space, especially if you live with this person, very negative. And I feel like they could be trying to be sweet because they're trying to like lure you back in. And I don't think it's working. And so I think this person could be saying like very sweet things, but it's going to turn to that cannonball. It always will. And maybe you feel like this person's let you off your leash for a while, and you're allowed to like go make friends, or you're allowed to go do something that you want to do. But as soon as like you get comfortable again, another cycle is going to start up. Again, I think a lot of you know this. And if that's the case, I feel like whoever has been dominated in this space and who has to like shut up, and they just do what this other person says, like they attack people in their like family or whatever, like, because that's what this other person says, they need to use their cannonball energy to say stop. That needs to come out. You've been a lead balloon in my life. You act like you're this and you're really this. Time and time again, you've showed me that you're this, but I feel like there's a timing thing because this person's really slick and manipulative and maneuvering and is trying to achieve something over here. But it's at the expense of literally everyone else because it's a domination thing. It's control, it's power, it's showing off, it's hostess with the mostest energy. It's gross and it's dripping with gross. But this person needs this lesson, needs to pull this apart of this superficial veneer of beauty isn't beauty to me. And it's not worth it. And this is a wretched life. And it's and it will lead to enlightenment though. It's just been a hard road because all roads lead to God and all roads lead to enlightenment. But I just feel like they're going to have to fight for their authenticity. They're going to have to fight for their heart space and their actual values because this person's really got lost in the sauce. They've lost their values in some way. And they need to really regain that. They need to have that back. But again, people are really lost in the sauce about who they are. Like here, that you've got people like that are, even if they heard this message, they would still come up like with the wrong energy, but that's spirit kind of protecting this energy because as you sow, so shall you reap, kind of a thing. Yeah, I can see it. Unfortunately, I have kids with that person. I keep him at arm's distance. I don't talk to him. I divorced him 5 years ago. So you're already moving the energy then by like separating yourself out from this person who only wants something superficial from you and who wants you to destroy who wants to isolate you. It's a classic abusive move, like to isolate you here. So to move the energy, if you're with this person who's this superficial energy, you have to move away from it and like choose yourself. You've got to sever that relationship. But this would take a lot of smarts. You got to do this in an intelligent way. And really just declare that these are not your values and that you will be yourself and that you will be authentic. This other person, you're going to have to let them go because, I'm hearing this on Gone by Kelly Clarkson. What you see is not what you get. That's so true in this entire situation. Your eyes, they sparkle. That's all changed into lies that drop like acid rain. So I feel like that's this person, like this superficial person. Your eyes, they sparkle. That's all changed into lies that drop like acid rain. So I'm gone. But I think you have to realize that there may be a person who feels that way about you, how you presented yourself to them in the past, that you were aligned with them, that you wanted what they wanted, that you had their heart, that you shared their values, that you wanted to take a path with them. Especially if you were waffling here, it's like this person might see you as being this superficial person in their life, and having chose someone superficial over you. And this person, just so you know, can see this superficial person with crystal clarity. Like they're not confused at all. They know exactly what's going on over here. They just get a whiff of it. And for some of you, like it does have to do with a whiff. Or it's like they saw this person very briefly and they know the truth because this isn't their karmic cycle like to kind of work out. So I feel like you do have to kind of let this person go because they're gone and they need to be gone. And like it's like once you chose a path over here, like this person chose a path somewhere else and that like needs to be honored because that's where they went to find their heart. And so I feel like this is you are on the path like with your throat chakra. That's what it feels like with your throat chakra. Okay. This was a lot to kind of like parse through. Okay, this is, forgiveness and self-forgiveness. So it's like, I think, a big part of this, is self-forgiveness. Like if you did fall for this, like kind of superficial trap, none of us are perfect. That's why we're here. So it's like that you did need to work through this and we all have things that we need to work through. So it's about forgiving yourself. And also like maybe forgiving this person, even if you're not saying like what they did is okay, because I feel like this person's going to betray you on multiple occasions on a regular basis. They're just going to like chip away at your self-esteem. And they're going to cause blockages in your family. They're going to tank your relationships with other people around you that are important relationships. They're going to participate in that. So it's just about saying like, I understand that the reason that you're doing this is because you have your own lessons to learn. And that's that kind of black and white energy where it's like, that's all you need to say. Like, yes, there's a lot going on, but you don't need to play therapist to this person. I feel like this person wants to, I think victim, rescuer, persecutor. This person's a persecutor, but they're going to flip to victim as soon as you kind of call this person out. And it's like, well, help me, please help me. And that's coming from a genuine place. But you need to get off the victim, rescuer, persecutor, because you were this person's victim. And this person needs to seek help elsewhere by somebody that they don't want to control or benefit from controlling in any way. And that's the only actual path here for this person. I'm hearing a path to forgiveness, a path to the light. Is being exposed here. Do things that you like and are good at, because I think you lost yourself with this person. If you went down this path with this person, you would have lost, I think, your friends, your family, your values, in order to live this person's life, in order to live this person's values that really just have to do with showing off. Again, it's very two-dimensional. Being imperfect is human. This is like leaning into your imperfections, because maybe this person was like always trying to get you to appear to be perfect. And because that's all they wanted in life, was to be kind of like envied is kind of what I'm getting. They just wanted to be envied. Open communication and time. I really feel like that could be therapy. Some of you, again, you could have alienated friends and family that were important to you, that would actually be of assistance to you working through this. Or you might not know who to trust, because I do think this person is like a backstabber that you're with, where they're very sweet. This is a very sweet devil. But they do talk shit about you behind your back, like to your friends. They could have implied certain things about you, that you're unstable or that you're unsafe or something. So you might not know who to trust, like in your friend group. So seeking out a therapist that is impartial and is neutral and is an expert at this might actually be very helpful. Also, just seeking advice. Some of you need to seek like legal advice, because this to me would require timing and like thinking this through, because again, this person's coming through in that narcissistic pattern, which is gaslighting you. It's smear campaigning you like to your friends. And this would have been going on for a while before you even like kind of caught on to the fact that this person was eroding your strength and your position, kind of pretending to be on your side, but then making it to where you didn't have a leg to stand on if you ever wanted to leave them. Like that's kind of that you wouldn't be believed, or that this person, again, victim, rescuer, persecutor, this person is a persecutor, but they're trying to paint themselves the victim, and they're just not. And there are people who know this, but there are people who don't know this. Set realistic goals for yourself in terms of your own healing journey, and pay attention to how others make you feel and how you make others feel is what I'm getting as well. Because some of you, like, because you've been with this person or you've like gotten wrapped up in this is also what I want to say about this, this duckling energy, this ugly duckling energy. Which you might resonate with here as well, because there's like a lot of overlap here. There's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of mirroring. There's a lot of who am I going to be, right? But this ugly duckling has been like pecked to death of people trying to, again, this nice devil energy, this Regina George. Oh my God, I love your bracelet. And so it's kind of a way, like that's the kind of person who would be like, oh my God, like if you stood up for yourself and you were like, stop talking to me that way, and you were just firm and everything was in alignment with you, your emotions, your facial expressions, your tone of voice, and the words you were saying were all in alignment, and they all said, stop, I don't like you, quit this, get away from me. This person, this Regina George, who's like, your bracelet's so cute, where is that? This person would be like, wow, this is so narcissistic. It's like, wow, you're so evil. That's so evil. Oh my gosh, like you should be saccharine sweet. And that's totally authentic, because it's totally normal to be saccharine sweet for like eternity. It's not a lie at all. And you're being mean, but really this person's being mean. It's just the way that they're mean is they're not honest. And so they kind of like poke at this person, because I feel like this ugly duckling energy. And again, for some of you, this is you. You are the ugly duckling and you weren't understood. So maybe you felt like you needed to pair up with the swan person in the past because nobody was going to value you if you didn't, like, you see what I'm saying? You have your own healing journey to kind of go on here. But this ugly duckling energy, at some point, that's the cannonball energy of they're going to stand up for themselves and they're going to say, stop pecking me. Everyone here is stupid. Like, it's coming from a place of ignorance. Like, you don't understand me. You're making snap judgments in order to control me. And they're going to push this energy back. It's going to be defensive. It's going to have been long overdue. And it's not aggressive. Or maybe it's aggressive, but it's like defensively aggressive. And so you got to watch this swan character, because this is a person who will have you believing up is down and left is right, good is bad, right is wrong, and Satan is Jesus. And then they'll accuse everybody else of actually doing that, because they can be the only one to be believed in this scenario. They can be the only one with power. This is someone who has to control the frame. So you'll notice that you have a different viewpoint of a lot of people and like what's going on before this person kind of like chimes in. And it's not the truth either. And you kind of always know that it's not the truth, because we kind of recognize when we hear the truth. Like we recognize the truth when we hear it, and we're like, oh, like it's that kind of aha moment. It's that epiphany moment. Like when you hear the truth, if that's not how you were thinking about it, which I feel like, again, that might be this ugly duckling energy of like, oh my gosh, everyone here is being horribly rude to me and I really don't deserve it. It's going to have that like, oh, but so these people both might have a perspective that isn't the same as yours, but one is like in alignment with the truth, where you're like, oh, that actually makes everything make more sense. And you naturally connect with the truth when you hear it. This other person overrides the truth. And you kind of have this moment where you're like, I don't think so. Is that true? I've never gotten that feeling. It goes the other way. So this person will also have you very disoriented when it comes to your own intuition. And they don't want you to find your own intuition, because it's like, I'm watching someone train a dog in my mind and I'm hearing like dog whistling. Like, yeah. So what they do, this is like a narcissist fantasy. They suck you into the narc fantasy where they tell you up where, up is down and right is left and everything. And that's like your own little world. And they'll have you thinking that everyone else is ridiculous and everyone else can't see the world the way that you guys do, or that they're wrong and that you need to be the rescuers. You know what I'm saying? But really, it's just persecutorial. And this is a karmic cycle that needs to be like kind of worked through here. And I don't know where you're at, like, again, like, cause there's so many different positions on this field. So you could be dealing with a person like this. You could be dealing with a couple like this, where it's like this swan person and this superficial person, and you're this ugly duckling person, and you're just trying to find your way. You can't understand why they're, picking at you, but this is a couple that, would smile in your face. Oh, they both are like that now. He's a bitch like them. Like, oh, I like your bracelet. So nice. But really they're absolute dickheads behind the scenes. And if you scowl at your poor treatment, or if you start to kind of catch on to it, these are people that are gonna be like, oh my God, did you see how rude she was? Oh my God, did you see how aggressive she was? And really you're having an absolutely normal human reaction that is very much in alignment with the truth, with the reality of what's actually going on. And then these people will gaslight you. Well, we weren't talking about you. Oh my God, we would never do that. I really do like your bracelet. It's that energy, and it's gross. And you just have to have enough self-respect to not be a part of it, That's what I really feel like this is. And I think some of you, it's like, you might need to break away from this group to speak your truth. Like if you're this ugly duckling, this could be a couple that has some kind of like control over the space, or some kind of control in the world. Like you might have to distance yourself in order to speak your truth, to be like, this is Regina George and her lapdog, like, or whatever. Yeah. Or like you have to, if you got sucked into this, and this doesn't have to be a romantic partner. This could be your mother. This could be your father, like whatever. And you would have to break free and be like, that's Regina George. And they had me like being their lapdog for so long. And I started to have to look at myself and be like, why am I doing this? And calling it goodness and like righteousness or something like that. So narcissists always have a core identity of shame. They avoid that shame using every tactic at their disposal, including dehumanizing others to build themselves up as someone to be worshipped. That is so perfect. That is exactly what's going on here. So either you got sucked into this narcissist fantasy in order to be puppeteered by them and to do their bidding, and they probably had you tank a lot of your relationships in order to isolate you so that they could further abuse you and leave you no option and make you think that they're the only life raft that you have, or you were targeted like by these people or something like that. I'm the Mary Kondo sage. Nice. I feel sorry for him. Seriously, I pray for them and send them compassion, but stay the F away. Yes. And that's exactly it, right? That's that beautiful nuanced energy of like, I feel bad for you. I can see that that's a bad situation, but I'm not rushing in the rescuer energy like maybe I did in the past, because you need to sort yourself out. And this person, even if you do feel this, I just feel like for this lifetime, it needs to be shelved, because you don't want to be running in to rescue this person, especially if they haven't fully severed ties with this other energy, because they will hurt you, because this person is confused and they need to stabilize their energy. They need to declare themselves fully to the universe that they rebuke this in the name of Jesus. They need to rebuke it. They need to denounce it. They need to like move away from it. And if and until they do, they're always going to be a threat to you, because this person's going to run to you like the victim, asking you to save them, whether that's listening to them or dating them or offering them a place to live, whatever it is, they're going to run to you. And then you run the risk of being victimized, because the persecutor could come back and they could be like, I was so wrong about them, and now I'm going back to them. Like, don't get your heart involved in this. This is not a stable person. Catherine, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah. This couple is my parents, but I think but they both think they dominate the other. Yeah, because like that's par for the course as well. Like, yeah, because a lot of people who are controlling, it's like they really do think that they're controlling the show, and they don't see the ways in which their own behaviors, their own addictions, their own vices, and the people that they choose to have around them control them. And they like that, probably like the toxicity of it, the drama of it. It gives them purpose. And so they mistake the drama and the chaos for love and for a soul partnership and for God. And it's kind of crazy when you think of it, that someone could think that that energy is God energy, but it's so all consuming, and it's so enticing. And they want it to be true so bad or something, or they like what this person has to offer, or they want to be associated with this person, or they wish they were seen like this person. And so all of it's just very sticky, because karma is very, very sticky, and it's very alluring, and it's very enticing, which is why the mind is a powerful tool, but a poor master, because the mind is just going to fill in the blanks then. If you say, well, oh, this person is just, oh my gosh, then the mind is just going to fill in and justify and fill in a story that tells you, go for it. Yeah, that's exactly what you think it is. Instead of trying to maintain its sovereignty here. So it's addiction. It's not love. Exactly. So moving this energy is coming to terms with exactly what's going on here. And again, I don't want to rehash it too much because there's different positions on the field. So coming to terms with what's actually gone on here varies depending on what position you've played on the field. And again, with this victim, rescuer, persecutor energy, you could have kind of switched this around. I do think you need someone to tell you the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I do think you need someone to tell you the hard truth. I do think some of you need a good look in the mirror, or a good, if you're this ugly duckling energy, like just kind of a douse in cold water of like, wake up, don't go towards there. You were in some kind of trance, like the snake from the Jungle Book that's like, trust in me, So you need that kind of hard wake up call. People are not wrong for doing it. You need that kind of energy, that just, this is what it is kind of energy. That's what you need to be applied. But this snake, this swan energy is going to have you thinking those people are the persecuting people, because they want to keep you bound. They want to keep you under their little spell, sucked into their narc fantasy where you can't trust anyone else, and it's you guys against the world, and everyone's just jealous of you. When, I'm hearing Gretchen Wieners now. I can't help it that I'm popular. It's everyone's just so jealous. I can't help it that I'm popular. It's that kind of energy. So you need to first and foremost see it as it is. If you are this ugly duckling energy, I feel like time will kind of naturally have you pop out this golden egg, whatever it is that's very much connected with your throat chakra. If you're over here, then it's going to be that cannonball energy of like, I'm severing myself from this, and I don't want to be your foot soldier. I'm seeing like the flying monkeys in the Wicked Witch of the West, and how they kind of hobble around her. Like, I'm no longer your flying monkey, I make my own decisions. I am self-sovereign. I don't buy into your narc fantasy. I make my own decisions. I know what up is. I know what down is. I know what left is. I know what right is. And I do think, like, for some of you, there's a healing journey that needs to occur here. And that's like what I'm seeing with the amethyst and the citrine and everything. And it's like spiritual energy that's coming in. It's coming into the 5th chakra. Man, I feel really bad every time I tap this energy, because I get so, I find it gross. I really do. Like, this is the energy that I repel. Well, I just find it really gross. This kind of like swan energy that I've described. And I don't have any like real patience for it, and I don't have any tolerance for it. And for me, that's what I'm comfortable with. I don't think I should have patience, and I don't think I should have tolerance. And I think some of you maybe need to give yourself the grace to be like, I just don't fuck with that. Like, at all. I don't want it around me. Not even like secondhand, like I'm hearing secondhand smoke kills. So it's like not even secondhand like through this other person, because if they have kids with this other person, they still have like ties or like cords of attachment like between them and this other person. And it's going to be like secondhand smoke that gets into your space, which is for some of you, if you know that you closed the door on a real love and a real soulmate, you have to let them go, because this is kind of like, you have to like get yourself fully free from this other person, in order to make sure that everybody else is also safe from this as well. It's not that you're never going to be happy. You definitely will. But I think you actually need this time to be safe in your own bubble, and to reacquaint yourself like with, again, like undoing the narcissist's like narratives, to reacquaint yourself with up and down and left and right, to find joy in the simple things again, to reacquaint yourself with your values, maybe to repair relationships that you have with Gemini energy, with your children, with your siblings, with your friends. Like, actually the next leg of your life, the next chapter, I think is going to be primarily focused on that Gemini energy. Again, whether it is your child, whether it is your sibling, whether it is your friends, it's going to be repairing those relationships and the damage that was caused there. It's going to be very, almost like a confessional, like a spewing of, I was outside my mind. I wasn't making my own decisions. I was this person's lapdog. They jumped and I said, how high? I'm disgusted. I'm horrified with myself. I'm not that person anymore. I learned a lot from going through that. I'm stronger and I will never let that, I'm resolved to never let that happen to me again, and to never be used as a tool of destruction for anyone else ever again. And I feel like that's actually what's going to feel most fulfilling for you anyway. And then I do think maybe a partner will come in, and it might come from that Gemini energy. A friend, somebody who was a friend first, somebody who, I don't know, like loses a spouse or gets divorced or something like that. I don't know. It's like, but it's not that you're doomed, like, because you got wrapped up with this person. I do think that it's been hard, and that you got to kind of, you can only go halfway into the darkest forest before you start coming out the other side. And I think that once you make these decisions, there needs to be some kind of decision here to kind of sever this out, and to try to reunite and repair the relationships that are actually soulmates to you, that you actually are bonded with on a soul level, and that what they need and what you need are in alignment. Because this person, they're a person too, like whoever this narcissist is, but what they need is away from you. That's why you're karmic to each other, because you shouldn't be in a relationship with this person, So they need to go off and be around the people, places, and things that they need to be around. That's going to mirror to them and like be their journey. But you just don't belong together. That's what this really comes down to, honestly. You belong very far apart, I think. There's quite a gap. And I think you might be realizing that. Like, that's part of it. It's like realizing you want this feels like you want vastly different things, to where it's kind of noxious. It's like if the narcissist gets what they want, you absolutely don't get what you want. Like, in no shape or form do you get what you want. But they probably promise you that this is the way for you to get everything that you want, but it's not. And I don't know how much you would invest in this person before you just kind of have to face it, that it's just all about them, and that you hardly recognize yourself when you look in the mirror, and this is definitely not the life that you wanted, and you feel used, and you feel like you've given up a lot, and maybe that you've ruined a lot of, relationships, and that those are the things that I think fulfill you, and that those are also the people that are going to help you. It's friends, and it's maybe a sibling or something. Those are the people that you can lean on for support. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot. Okay, let me just get like another of these and then we'll move on. I really don't like this energy, because I feel gross, like even having to get into this, this like energy. Okay, positive self-talk, optimistic. Oh, forgiveness, self-forgiveness. I already did this. Do things you like and are good at. A lot of the same ones are coming out. Okay, not being there for your partner in a time of need. But this partner over here, the swan partner, manufactures times of need in order to maintain control. So just don't be, it's like, maybe you could call your sister. Maybe you could call your therapist. Like, the more you can disentangle, and like, this person also should have a community that they lean on. But they do. Because also what you need to know is this person runs to other people and cries about you being the problem when you're not. So, okay, I already read these. Literally all the same cards came out, except for have base standards for yourself and others and stick to them. Because I feel like this person, if you're really honest, this person doesn't live up to your basic standards of human being, like of how people should be treated. They really don't. I think this person is very slick at saying, well, we both believe in the 10 Commandments, but I break 3, 4, 5, and 7 because it's righteous to do so. I'm hearing even the devil quotes scripture. It's like very slick the way this person is like, okay, yeah, but that doesn't apply to me and that doesn't apply to us. No, like this person doesn't meet base standards. And I think like some of you, I think that's how you start pushing back with this person, is by saying, those are my standards. Like, I'm not going to believe you when you like tell me to knock my own standards or try to make me a hypocrite to myself, my values, and my beliefs. No. Okay. Oh, Monica, that's so sweet. Yeah. Became this crutch identity. Not all fairy tales end the same. Oh my gosh, I was going to share this on Patreon, and I might, because I watched this video this week, and it was something like the fairy tale of romantic love has been the most destructive thought process that humanity has ever like had, or something. And it was really interesting, and it really got me thinking. Because like they were saying, especially for women, that it causes women to put up with a lot of things that they wouldn't put up with, because they believe that something is like romantic love, or that it's destined. And that they just have to continually sacrifice themselves in order to make something work. When if they didn't have that, like the fairy tale of romantic love, their actions would actually be guided by their values or like by very different things. They would say like, I don't appreciate the way that you're treating me. I'm going to move away from this. But then they don't, because they're like, but this is my romantic love and I may never find this again. And it's like, if you didn't have that like narrative of maybe I'm never going to find this again, like maybe this is my only one person, then maybe you would have stepped away like sooner or something. So just something to keep in mind. Okay. So, gosh, I hate that energy. I feel gross. I feel gross now. Yeah, to remove this energy. Yeah. You're married to him for 14 years. Well, that was some hard learning. You got all you need for your lessons, Sometimes fairy tales are interpreted wrongly. If we consider the characters are psychic forces, they're very powerful. I've talked about that a lot on this channel. There's someone called Bettelheim. I really like his work. And it's important to also look at, yes, there's a way that we all kind of relate to things different. For instance, Bettelheim, the way he relates to fairy tales and his perspective, which is the perspective you've outlined there, I think that as well. But it's not the only perspective to have. And especially the way that our society kind of interprets and runs with those fairy tales can actually be problematic. It's very Pisces energy, because Pisces can like be the highest spiritual nature if we transcend our ego and if we transcend life. But if we bypass life, it's like that sacrificial energy. It's feeling lost. It's actually a loss of identity. So that's like that lower vibrational energy. And I feel like that romantic love energy is that like lower vibrational energy. But it does get spoken about or perpetuated because it's sticky. It's because Pisces can also be the energy of addiction. So it's like it can, that loss of identity feels like merging with the one, but it's like we transcend our identity. And it's kind of the difference between spiritual bypassing and spiritual transcendence. And you see that kind of in the spiritual community as well, like this kind of idealization of romantic love as being union with God, which I think there are certain love relationships that are definitely in alignment, like it's part of your path too. But I think there's also some where it's like you end up sacrificing your God-given identity, like your own sun energy, your own like philosophy and things like that. So I just think it's like a matter of perspective, Okay. Is it a tool or a weapon? It depends on the wielder. Exactly, yeah. I know that you guys know all this. Aw. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, we're moving on up. Okay, sorry. We'll just put this up there for those of you who are joining us in case you want to pick your pile. We just finished pile number 2, which was this lover energy, and we're moving on to pile number 3, which is this Thanatos energy. And it was, what's the number, babe? 47?
73.
Oh, 73. I was close. 73. Okay, so we're moving on to pile number 3. I can always tell when Jess doesn't like something. She used to talk fast, and now she speaks slower and more intentional. Aw, I think that's super lethal. Yeah. Well, like a big part of like what I've been trying to pull apart for myself too is because I was definitely raised in that Christian perspective of like keep sweet, but people walked on me my whole life. It's gotten the wrong people around me for the wrong reasons, people I don't really even like and that I feel disrespected by. And I felt like, I don't know really why I was maintaining those relationships other than I just felt like I was supposed to, that I was supposed to be the glue, that I was supposed to be the forgiver, and that it was somehow like righteous of me to be doing that. But I just don't feel like that's true. And even like if we look at Jesus, like and like the example that he set, Jesus was very strong, and he was the lion and the lamb. He was very matter of fact. He's the person who flipped tables in the church, like when he felt like something was gross or like carried hypocrisy with it. He pulls ignorance up out at the root. That's also why I really like Shiv, because to me it's the same energy. It's that Shiva is like the destroyer of evil, wickedness, and ignorance. I just don't feel like we should tolerate ignorance. And I think it's okay for me to be upset at my own mistreatment, to be upset that other people treat people so poorly, and to be a strong mirror for that. I think that's absolutely okay. And I know that me having a strong personality and using my strong voice when I speak about certain things, I know it's going to endear certain people to me for different reasons. Like people who also share that, who are also a lion in the face of people's ignorance and superficiality and lying nature to try to manipulate and frankly take things away from people like me who actually deserve them, who take away like positions or respect or like in order to try to mimic our energy, but from a very superficial like place. It's theft. Like I heard this Caribbean quote and it was like, which I don't kind of agree with, but it was something like a liar is a thief and a thief is a murderer or something. But I think it's like, it shows the kind of slippery slope of this ignorant, superficial, malicious way of being. And I think it's completely okay for me to just try to uproot that in my life and be like, I just don't have a place for that. And then also I think people who like that are people who have been through something very similar to what I just like described as my own journey. People who have also been victimized. People who don't feel like with me, even in my own mind, even in the confines of my own mind, did I feel like I was doing something wrong by being like, you're an asshole. Like, you know, or the way that you're treating me, this is absolutely corrupted and wrong. I would still feel bad. And I would be like, try to forgive them, try to like whatever. And it was keeping me on the surface of things as well. So I think sometimes people who are victimized and who also kind of like resonate with that journey for themselves also really appreciate somebody else just being like, we have to call a spade a spade. Okay. It's okay that you don't like everyone. You're a piece of God, but you're not like God. And you have to realize you're a person too. You are an ego too. We don't bypass the ego, we transcend the ego. So you are an ego. You need to know what your ego is, everything in its proper place in the right amount. The ego has a function. Make sure yours functions because you have to navigate the world as an individual, as a person. You are in meat space. You are in a body. So if you try to bypass the ego and navigate as though you're a spirit living here in this world, you're going to run into some problems because you misunderstand the purpose of the exercise. The purpose is to be fully human and then to transcend that. It's not to bypass that. And so often we have people who are truly ignorant in the spiritual community who are really just trying to grift off of the spiritual community. They haven't actually like applied themselves because they think, I don't know what they think, and they kind of speak about these things in a misleading way. It's okay for me to find that repugnant and repulsive. It's okay for me to call that out, Light of Love, thank you so much for the super chat. Now, say I got my head on a swivel and I'm like bobbing my head around. Like, this is a part of me. I have a lot of Aries energy. Like, I am this way. And I think if I point it in the right direction, it can be very righteous. Hello. We are fractals of God having a human experience and everything that goes with being human. Yes. Oh my gosh, Nico just said the worst kind of manipulation is valorizing the withstanding of mistreatment. Oh, the language. Making that someone's identity, making their source of worth, being able to take and transmute other people's problems. Yes, that's what I felt like I was supposed to do as a godly woman. I'm just supposed to tolerate your mistreatment. And when I realized this in Christianity too, like sitting in my history of Christianity class, that's kind of what started to pick apart my faith, was like going through the history of it. Because when you learn about like the Crusades, and which, look at what's happening now, I'm terrified. But like when you look at the energy of like the Crusades or the Inquisition or selling of indulgences, I remember having this very lucid thought where I was like, oh my God, they don't believe it. The priests, they don't believe it. You cannot believe in hell and harm little children in the way that is prevalent in that community. You cannot believe in God and start a crusade. You can't do those things. It's incompatible. And I was like, oh my God, they don't believe it. They're using that to control people, to gain. They don't believe in hell because they're going. If you're selling indulgences to people, if you're saying, give me, your firstborn and your best hen and 40 pence and I will forgive you your sins, that's not of God. You don't believe of God. You don't believe in hell because you would know that you're not supposed to do that. And that started to kind of unravel me. Like, where I was just kind of like, okay, I need to look at who these people actually are, like what their actions are actually saying. Because Jesus himself did not write a single damn thing down in his infinite wisdom. And he didn't call for that to be written down either. I wonder why. But it's the same thing with other people where it's like, oh my gosh, like having that realization, like, oh my gosh, you don't actually believe this. Miss Transforms, thank you so much for the super chat. Crusaders, they worship false idols. Yeah. And then when I found out about the Inquisition and the indulgences, Yeah, and I was like broken. And the other thing too is like I prayed to God because I was like, there's no use in lying to you. My faith is crumbling. Like I don't believe this. And I could sit here and go to church every Sunday and put a smile on my face and I could fool everybody else, but I know I can't fool you. And I know that you're in charge of everything, and I just trust that my journey is in your hands. And it ultimately, I feel, led me back around to a deeper, more personal faith, out of the hands of humans that have tried to control things. So anyways, it's neither here nor there. Welcome to the live stream. All right. I'll just get a little of this, a little of that. The religions where it costs 10% of your paycheck to be told you're not good enough for the rest of your life. Yeah. Nice. Okay. And like that's again like that process oriented thing where to me, life is a technology. Life is an experience God would for some reason like for us to go through as souls. And God is real and God is there for you to have a relationship with. But I do think there's a lot of people that try to get their hands in that pie and they try to control it, you know? And I just want to make that absolutely clear that like, that's why I like the tarot community so much. If you guys don't like this like little chit chat, like this is what the live streams are kind of about, but I like the tarot community a lot because it's a group of women. It's very feminine spirituality where it's like, we're all just kind of walking each other home and you have to have your head on straight in regards of like what resonates with you, what doesn't. I think it's perfect like in so many ways because nobody's trying to tell you what to do, but like we are all trying to kind of share what we know and like what we can tap into, and I just think that's so beautiful. And yeah, I just think that's beautiful. So anyway, I love the chit chats. The relationship of the divine is personal and private. It's a marriage. You can't have 3 people in your nuptial bed. Amen. I love this community you work to create, Jess. It's gorgeous for real. Aw. Yeah. Well, and we all, I think, like, you know, we all kind of have that same energy, you know, that we're all looking for truth. That's what I trust is that I think that's the people that I draw to me, even if they don't realize that that's what they're looking for. Because I do think that some people are actually looking for truth, but they're surprised at like what the truth actually reveals. So anyways, all right, moving on here to pile number 3. Okay. Hence why religion hates it. Feminine is sovereignty. Yo. Okay. Oh my. Oh my gosh. I just have to say. I visited a female Christian Orthodox monastery in Greece 3 weeks ago, and the things these brainwashed nuns spoke on scared me. One of them said women can't go to heaven if they die with pants on. A lot of religions, I feel like, kind of like sound like that to me, you know, like if you die with pants on, if you die facing east, like, you know, actually a Christian person who's very Christian and probably would hate me. I like to watch her channel. I can't think of the name of it, but she's this Christian person. And even hearing her speak about her faith, she says, I think what the Christian church actually does get wrong is they confuse what is like Christ and what's culture, because the Christian church has a lot of culture around it that they expect you to fall in line with. But culture is not scripture. They think it's their interpretation of scripture. And people who do have half a brain understand that there's a lot going on in that interpretation that you might get right or you might not get right, which is why human beings are not fit to judge. But that's the whole evangelical movement, is people not understanding God said you're not fit to judge. God's going to judge. And there's a whole group of people that just misunderstand that proudly and in a way that is kind of violent, you know? And yeah, but I love that she was even kind of noticing that, where she was saying there's so much that is culture and that they conflate with, and that is man trying to play God in a way. And I just thought that was very insightful of her. Okay. Pile number 3. How do you shift the energy? The energy. Okay, I want to draw a couple cards here. I'm getting a lot of... I feel like you're up in your head, this pile, and you're trapped in a web, and there's some kind of death energy, but I feel like you don't know where the death energy is coming, like how to apply the death energy. I think you know something's coming to an end, but you don't know what, or like you don't... it's like tick tock. Like that's what I'm getting here with this like clock card that just came out. This like tick tock. And grandfather clocks to me are associated with the masculine lineage and also some form of tradition here. And I feel like there's some kind of process here where, again, yeah, look, and then this death energy that's being like clicked back and forth. So there's this death kind of energy, but you're up in your head. You know something needs to end, but you don't know how to go about. Yeah, like really, really, really in your head. Grieving, feeling lost. This is like definitely the energy of depression here and feeling the burden. And like I just heard like burning. This feels like taking responsibility kind of energy, but it feels like a burden here as well. But it feels like there's something that's been really built up here. And I'm hearing the word web. So that actually means quite a bit to me as well because, okay, so I get it. So there's something that I feel like needs some kind of untangling here because there is this person that I've been watching recently. I really actually want to mention her name, but I also don't want to mention her name because I just don't know the hornet's nest that like that's going to bring to me. But her last name is Webb and she's an investigative journalist and she is amazing. She's like a human encyclopedia, okay? Like, and I feel like that's kind of the key to this situation. What I mean by she's a human encyclopedia is she knows like names of people, what companies they worked for, when, who else they know, when they were associated. She knows the timeline. She's just this kind of repository of information. So there's something about this to me where I'm hearing like follow the money, follow the money. And that's going to like, there's like a thread here that you can pull on it's going to kind of show you the behind the scenes because there's people behind the scenes or there's a structure behind the scenes that you're not as familiar with. And that's something here that's like keeping you in this particular web and it's confusing you and it's manufactured consent is what I'm hearing as well. It's like keeping you in the dark about something or it's manufacturing your consent. It's controlling your decisions. There could be a council here or some kind of like, there's 3 people maybe that like, or 3 blockages. It feels like very authority figures or something here like that. So you just feel kind of like trapped in your head. So whatever this like the public, I want to describe it as like celebrities or like whoever is the public face of this group or of your life. These 3 people that like, you know their faces, you know their names, you know their positions, and you associate them with some kind of like leadership. Those people are not it. That's not where you're going to find the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the connections, the associates, the associations behind the scenes, the transactions, the money, that kind of like detail is, there's something here that's going to come out. And there was like some kind of false union here as well. Again, I'm hearing manufactured consent because look at like the hands here. That's reminding me of another card that's in this deck and it's called the Vision. And it looks like 2 people that are very wise and like share the same vision, but they don't. So I actually feel like you've been caught in some kind of web here and you know it. But it's like you need a person where it's like, I'm seeing you kind of, you know that meme of the guy that has like the board out and he's connecting all the dots. He's like smoking and he's kind of like, he's trying to explain to you like, and see this, and he's got like his little thumbtacks with pictures and places and he's drawing all the lines and stuff. That's you. I feel like that needs to kind of be you in the situation where you're kind of mapping something out here behind the scenes. But it does feel like there's a TikTok kind of energy about moving it. Okay, there's some getting curious about, for some of you, it is some kind of liquid. I don't know if you suspect someone's putting some, drinking the Kool-Aid. That's what I'm getting. Drinking the Kool-Aid here and taking responsibility. The beast becoming man. Okay, so this for some of you is alcohol. Somebody here could be benefiting off of something. It's keeping you in this beast mode energy. Something here is. It could be a medicine. Maybe some of you are considering getting off of a medicine because you don't like the way it's interacting with you or that it's interacting with other medicines. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what this is. TikTok. Yeah, some of you, it's like you might feel like you're in a brain fog or something because you don't like the effect of a medicine or something here. So how do you shift this energy? Oh my gosh, like I'm seeing a spider now. You know, like spiders, they wrap up their insects. They're alive when they digest them. Some of you feel like you're being digested alive, you know, and that somebody, like the spider puts like a paralytic to keep you paralyzed. Okay, I'm hearing that song NF. I'm paralyzed. Where's the real me? I no longer feel things I know I should. So you feel paralyzed. You feel caught in this net and it's like something's kind of like sucking your energy, drinking your blood. Eating you slowly alive. Something's eating you alive here. So this could be depression. This is depression. And Or you could be being drained in other ways, like maybe you're being used for your money. Okay. Look, there's a secret here. There's a secret. There's secret connection. There's a secret connection, okay? And for some of you, this is like not even nefarious. There could be a secret connection between okay, this period. Okay, what? There's a secret connection between some kind of period. This is the hangman, okay? So it's like a period of stagnation or a period of surrender or like loss of self or identity and this kind of wheel of fortune energy. And then like this King of Pentacles, again, I'm hearing like looting. Something here is like looting. It's draining you via a period of stagnation. Some of you don't feel very well. Could be some kind of message. Okay, so there's like a decision that needs to be made. So there's justice energy that's coming in for you. And it's like causing some kind of, it's like decision. There could be court case involved here. But justice is coming in. And justice has that like Sith in this deck, I think, or a scythe or whatever, you know, like that death carries. Because I feel like they're going to cut you out of this web. Something here is going to cut you out of this web. But this requires King of Swords energy. So again, this is like, and observing this Two of Cups, there's something secret. So it could be that there's a connection between two people here that is secret, and these two people could be working to keep you in a web. Okay, that's for some of you. That's not for all of you. But I feel like you need to be in this King of Swords energy because it needs to bring this judgment energy, and then it's going to actually get you to point the finger back where it kind of needs to go, like towards the right energy. But it's this King of Swords, which again, I feel like is being very intelligent. This is being very observant. This is not making excuses for what it is that you see. It's the web. It's piecing together the web. It's following the money. It is following the hidden associations here. There could be associations between people that it's on the surface, it doesn't seem like they're connected, but they actually are. Or things in your life that feels like it's not actually connected, but it actually is. Again, this could have to do with like medication or something that you're ingesting or drinking. Because I'm seeing that Page of Cups, like look at that thing. There's a connection between like something that you're eating or consuming and like your mindset or something. So if some of you, this is like you're being called to like clean up your diet because it's affecting your like depressional mood or something here like that. So there's a lot of different situations that this could be, but it's like putting together the web, building out the web of what is actually connected to what. And for some of you, this is things in your life. It's things that you're eating or ingesting that you're like, that's how you can shift the energy, is actually working with your diet. Drink more water, is what I'm hearing. Because there is a connection between like your diet or a medication that you're taking and something that you feel, or maybe there is a need for medication for some of you. I don't know. Take this however it's resonating. And obviously I'm not a doctor and I'm not qualified to diagnose, but there's something with a mental state here. Now, for others of you, though, I feel like you've wandered into a trap, and there's a connection that is hidden in plain sight is what I'm getting, like between two people that are actually working to trap you or to kill your strength, to make you impotent. And you feel stuck in your head because you feel like, how do I get out of this? But it's a very sticky situation, and it is. There's like actually things that are sticking to you. There is God energy that's coming in. So some of you have been praying. So how do you shift this energy? I feel like... How do you shift this energy? Oh, wow. How do I shift this energy? Somebody is putting like an obstacle in your way. Okay, and this is like, for some of you, this could be magical intervention. Like somebody here is like working behind the scenes to block, obstruct, get you up in your head. Something here. You got to see the puppet master. Okay, like this, I'm just picturing you in this like dark, scary room with all these like skulls, and it's like you need to make progress, is what I'm hearing. Like it's one step in front of the other, because I feel like you might be scared to make a move because you don't know what the right move is, but it's like you need to just kind of get moving out of this. There's some kind of communication or message with the Page of Swords that's secret or confusing. Oh no, the moon. The moon is the mind again. It's something's playing on your mind here to keep you confined, muzzled, small, to prevent an ending, or to cause an ending, to bring about some kind of passionate beginning. Somebody's playing around here. There's some kind of external source of something. I hope this is making sense, okay? Because there's a lot of different scenarios here. And if you already know what your scenario is, then these other scenarios that I'm trying to get to the bottom of, don't let that like take you off from what you know to be true. But there's muertes. I keep hearing that. So there's some kind of like death energy that's going on, or like you're up in your head about ending some kind of cycle. It could be a period of stagnation, but it's like there's a period of stagnation that's designed to make you impotent, or it is designed to drain you of some kind of energy or resource, or through you to drain someone else, or to cause friction in a relationship, maybe to end a relationship. For some of you, somebody's trying to end your relationship so that they can come swoop in and take your partner here. But they're trying to make you impotent in order to do it. Or for some of you, you're with a partner that makes keeps you impotent. And either there's a need for medication, or there's a need to get off some kind of medication, or something could, and for some of you, it's not a partner. This could be, it's like a third variable. So this could be something that you're ingesting. I don't know. I hope this is making sense. Okay, Spirit, how can they, what else? I feel like there's more that wants to come through here to understand the situation. What else do you want to tell us about this, Spirit? Let me stop trying to control things. That's another message. Because it's like, okay, we're trying to go right for like, how do I move this? But I feel like Spirit's like, well, I have more that I need. You need to get there's justice energy that's coming through here. So it's like, you kind of need to get the lay of the land here, because you need to understand exactly what went wrong and why, because you may be a part of some kind of justice cycle that's going on. Magician. There's somebody manipulating a 10 of Pentacles situation. This also could be somebody who's like selling a 10 of Pentacles situation to you. Some kind of like wealth, abundance. Somebody's trying to frame a person here too. Okay, so there's an energy that's genuinely helpful. That is kind of like this magician. They're telling you that you have everything that you need to kind of light the way for yourself here. And I think somebody could also be trying to paint this person in a negative light, you know, or to get them to incriminate themselves. If this could be you. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here. For some of you, it's magic. Yeah, and so Spirit is wanting you to like climb upwards. Use your intuition here. Know what's stable for you. Know what's stable for you. And for some of you, you have this 10 of Pentacles and you have this Queen of Pentacles energy. So you have some kind of like very firm footing, but it could be that somebody is trying to routines. It could be that somebody is trying to knock you off of your routines in order to put you into a depression, in order to get you trapped, in order to get you into your mind, to get you questioning the things that are actually stable in your life. And this could even be behind the scenes. There's somebody that's doing harm energetically behind the scenes here in order to frame the wrong people. Or something here. Something here about timing again coming out. I hope this is making sense. This is very confusing. And I feel like this is what it feels like for you. It's like you're stumbling around in the dark. And you feel stuck, and you feel in a period of stagnation. You could feel depressed. You could not know how to get up. You need to make a decision. You want to be the emperor. You want a new order. You want to feel powerful. You want to feel in control of things. What's going on behind the scenes? Look, there's a competitor. So somebody's introducing competition, but it's subtly and it's behind the scenes. For some of you, this is energetic because there is actually a force or a person that's being helpful. And so they're trying to either hide something from this person. So there could be somebody, like for some of you, okay, this could involve money, and you could have like somebody going through your finances and they really don't want this person to uncover incriminating evidence or something like that. So they're trying to hide certain things, and they're trying to introduce some kind of competitor, like a competing narrative or something here that might have to do with the Ace of Cups. Cups are important. Liquid, some kind of liquid. They want to introduce a competing liquid, Kool-Aid, a competing Kool-Aid, if you will. Some kind of competitive energy. This person's evil. They're scheming around behind the scenes. Fire. They're playing with fire, or they want you to play with fire. It's their wish fulfillment. This person is a skis. This person is trying to line up certain things like in a domino, and they're like pushing one thing over at a time. They could be playing with people's heads, and it's like one thing over. They're like waiting. Somebody here is like a schemer behind the scenes. They're the devil. There's a devil energy here. For some of you, if this is like the medicine thing, then this is like a company that is trying to get you to make an impulse buy or something like that, right? And they have a whole marketing team that's like designed to like control you and to make you think that something is the problem when it's actually not, or like, I don't know. So again, like if you've already resonated with certain things, but I just feel like energetically there's a devil energy behind the scenes that's trying to like line certain things up, because they want to compete and they want to destroy something that is actually holy, that is actually helpful. I just heard holier than thou. They want to sever something. They want to put a blockage up. They want to prevent clear communication, or they want to prevent a relationship or a deal. They want to prevent some kind of mediation here. And that's why you're up in your head, because for some of you, it's like you may need to have a conversation here with a certain person. But I do feel like there's a positive force here that's trying to get you to understand what you have, which is the Queen of Pentacles and the, healthy routines. And there's something here that's like very stable. Then there's somebody else who's trying to throw a wrench in that, to put you in your head, to put you in some kind of depression here. They're waiting. This person has like put some kind of something into motion, and then they're waiting for it to like come to fruition. They've tried to hide the proof. They've tried to hide the evidence of their involvement, that they've done this. But I feel spirit kind of pushing the lid off of whatever this is. And like that's part of like in this message, they're pushing the lid off. There is actually Ace of, it's funny because there's fire here. This person's trying to control an Ace of Wands, which is like some kind of, I'm hearing a firecracker go off. So it could be some kind of explosive event, or yeah. And for some of you, I just want to say, because this message has been coming through, because you found the tarot, and because you found this group and this community that is so helpful for you, there's potentially an energy trying to mess with you behind the scenes to make you demonize the tarot, or to make you like confused in your messages. So what can you do then? It's pointing the finger right back at that energy. It's trying to get you in your head. It's trying to fuck with you. And you see these videos, and I've mentioned this, like where people are like, oh, like it's this or it's that. No, it's not. It's like, this is the one way that you can kind of take your power back, because there's always been these energies around you. There's positive energies and negative energies. You've started to take your power back. You started to kind of understand these things, and it wants you to like kind of demonize this. So it's getting you up in your head, or like this Thanatos energy, this like depression, this like ruminating, this like fearful energy. So it's like pointing, look, all of these swords of truth point back to interference, or point back to this like one kind of energy. And there's like this web of something, like web of lies is what I'm hearing, that's trying to prevent your transformation. It's trying to keep you stuck. It's trying to keep you depressed. It's trying to keep you doubtful. It's trying to play in your mind. It's trying to induce fears. It's trying to... And then it wants to make you think that this is the ships that you brought in, that you're reaping what you've sown. It's not. There's interference here. Listen, the Hierophant. Listen to your intuition. Be the captain of your own ship. Like, fortify your relationship with God, because there's someone that's trying to interfere in that space. Talk about making my blood boil. This is somebody who's like trying to play God behind the scenes. This is energetically. They're waiting. This person has like put certain things into motion and they're like waiting and they're trying to see over like into the wall to see if their like fucked up plan has like come to work. Now, take this however it's resonating. This is such a weird message. Okay, so for some of this is actually playing out in meat space where I think that you've gotten yourself involved. Like there's a hidden couple that is actually like working together that you don't recognize. You don't associate these two people as being together. Okay. One's over there and one's over there, and you've kind of noticed like an interaction or something, but you're going to notice that maybe there's something romantic going on between them, and that maybe they're trying to frame you, because I'm seeing that Wheel of Fortune. It's like they want to turn the Wheel of Fortune. So it could be that they're trying to get Wheel of Fortune. They could be trying to frame you for something. They could be trying to, I just heard, cut you out of a will, or they could be trying to take something. I don't know. And there's like, they're trying to get you caught in a web of their lies. They're trying to get you tied up in your head. They could be gaslighting you. Like, we're not sleeping together. We're not like this. Oh, like, you know, calm down or whatever. They could even, for some of you, this is so extreme. I don't know. For some of you that like have money, the truth is stranger than fiction. It's like somebody could be putting like Benadryl in your tea or something like at night, so that you fall asleep, or I don't know. And I feel like, yeah, somebody could. That's not obviously going to be for everyone. It's going to be for like one person. But if you suspect that, I don't know what you can do. Save a little bit of it. See if you can't get it tested somewhere. I just heard hair follicle. But you have energy that's coming here. Like you've had a force. This is the star card. Like you've had a force come in to try to lead you to a path to the light and to try to heal you and everything. Like that force has come in. And then this is the challenger. That's what it is. This is the adversary, devil energy. The adversary, there's an energy that's risen up to challenge this path to the light. What can you tell me about this energy? It thinks it's slick and it's not seen. It thinks it's maneuvering behind the scenes here. So out it, please. I have felt totally framed. Yes, this is what's happening. How can, hold on. Person might be sending someone in towards you. This is sneaky energy. It's covert. It's slick. So how do they shift this energy? I'm just picturing you focused like on God here. How can you shift this energy? Hold on. I feel like there's an Empress energy that this energy really wants you to cut out of your life. Somebody that is the Empress. They want you to think that this relationship is some kind of like unequal give and take. You might be the Empress in this relationship that someone's trying to frame. But there's a lot of like luck and abundance. There's a lot of positive energy that's like coming through. But they're trying to like frame this. So they keep saying like the King of Swords keeps coming out, which again, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. So it is this observance thing. It's putting things together that you think are not connected, but they actually are. And you'll notice like that it's kind of gotten you in your mind. But the King of Swords, to me, this corresponds to the nakshatra called Mrgashira that is right at the beginning of Gemini energy. Mrgashira is all about like having left the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden in this metaphor is kind of representative of a place of abundance, a place of milk and honey, a place where all your needs seem to be met. It's like, you know, there's room, but there also could be like an abundance, a surplus, luxury, something here like that. And I am seeing a couple that is like associated with this place. So it's leaving that, cutting free of that with the King of Swords, seeing the truth of the situation, that it's taking more than it's giving, because it's connecting you to this like dark energy. So it's like, or it's allowing it to have access or to rise up and challenge. So it's like cutting free of that, which then leads you to Mrgashira. Now, Mrgashira is an interesting nakshatra because it's nervous. It's represented by the deer. Mrgashira is an incredibly incredibly auspicious nakshatra. A lot of luck comes in that you cannot account for. So I feel like, okay, you're up in your head. I get it. So it's saying like, use this King of Swords energy wisely. Don't go over and over the details of like, how am I ever going to survive on my own? How am I ever going to, like going through the details of like your finances or something here like that, because this luck energy is going to come in for you. Okay. And I'm just, I'm hesitant to even say that because like, am I going to say that? And then this dark energy is going to I don't know. I feel like you got to trust your instinct here or like your intuition. Cause I feel, that spirit's trying to come in with some kind of safety net or something, but it like needs you to take this leap of faith. And it's like you need to get out of this certain environment or something here. And once you do, you need to take some kind of leap of faith here. Where you need to take a leap of faith and you're in your head about it, but it's like you just kind of need to get the energy moving. And then Mrgashira feels very vulnerable. Now, for some of you, it's like they're trying to frame this Empress. So for some of you, I feel like this negative energy wants you to frame this Empress. This Empress that is an Empress, they want you to think is somebody that needs to be cut away from. So that's not... they want you to take the poison cup. And see this Empress energy. So maybe some of you are like moving towards an Empress. This could be within yourself, like becoming your own Empress energy, or like this couple is behind the scenes and I don't think it's known that they're a couple. I don't think it's known that they're associated with each other. Or it's two things, one's very masculine and one's very feminine. It's like you're not making a connection here of something that's like working in your brain. And it's trying to make you frame an Empress. They want to make this Empress seem responsible for something that she is in fact not responsible for. They want to frame this Empress. They want this Empress to be seen as a cause of a problem when she's not. She is kind of what you should be running towards. And I think for a lot of you, you're this Empress. It's like towards your own self, towards your own being the Empress, being well-rounded, maybe being self-reliant here, following the feminine energy, being abundant. They want you to think that following that path is what got you in trouble, when in reality you're being tampered with by something. So they want you to see this kind of clearly. So it's using this energy well. I think some of you may need to take responsibility here in a situation. You are responsible for your own decisions. You are responsible for your own hanged man energy. Like some kind of stagnation energy. That's all you in this situation. Or it's because maybe you've aligned with a certain force. I don't know. But it's like you have to take responsibility for your own life kind of thing and your own decisions. And like accept help or advice as exactly that. It's help and it's advice. It's not an edict or a mandate. It's not tyranny. I just asked, how are they trying to muddle this? And it's the Three of Swords. It's a betrayal. And then Three of Swords for me, though, is Saturn in Libra, which to me is a very karmic relationship. It's like some kind of blockage. It also could be a contract or some kind of red tape, like with an authority figure or something here like that. I feel like there's a conflation where it's like, this Empress did not tell you to get involved with this authority figure. That could have been your interpretation. But you need to take responsibility for your interpretation and the fact that you made that decision. There's something here, I don't know, it's like, yeah, it's a karmic competitor. They're trying to introduce some kind of karmic competitor. That you should actually be defending yourself from, and maybe even to get this Empress energy, which I think, again, it's you on the back foot here. This is Knight of Cups. They could be trying to frame this Empress energy as like a toxic relationship from your past, or they could be sending someone in that's a toxic relationship from your past to tempt you. This person is hidden. They're trying to seduce you. They're going to act like they're not open to something here, but they are tempting you. They want a new beginning, and they want to spend time with you alone behind closed doors. They want you in your head. There could be some kind of strategy here as well. They're putting something into motion here. Something behind the scenes is. And it uses the elements of stagnation. The negative Pisces thing. Stagnation, loss of identity, loss of self. It feels like there's some kind of energy that's slowly being drained out of you, whether that's money or patience with yourself, and that is putting you in a certain position where it's forcing your hand. They want you to take some kind of leap here, where there will be a competitor to an Empress energy, and they want and I don't know what that competitor would look like. Could be somebody who seems like an Empress, but they're the Queen of Swords. They're not. Because I'm seeing them behind that fan, because they want to tempt you away from what's actually good for you, because they're trying to split you from something that's healthy, from a path that's healthy, by framing something as being healthy and being right and not, by introducing a competitor, by introducing a decision that shouldn't be a decision. Somebody's trying to interfere with your path here, and they may be trying to frame an Empress for that. Tower. And notice, like, this is reminding me of that painting or like the Harry Potter castle where all the staircases like can lead back into each other. So you need to break through of that energy. There is a force that's keeping you in your mind. It's keeping you stagnant. I do feel like this is energy work. I do feel this is some kind of magical energy. I'm not saying it's attached to a person. It could be, but this could just be the forces at work in our world that's just rising up to challenge you, maybe rising up to challenge a healthy relationship. And again, I'm seeing that Queen of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. This is a very stable, healthy situation. And the Queen of Pentacles in this deck is somebody who's climbing up a ladder. And the Queen of Pentacles for me, this is Capricorn energy. So it could be like a business, some kind of business that's like accelerating or something like that. And somebody here could be elevating, or this person could be showing you the path to elevation. And this energy is challenging it. It's rivaling it. So and it's your responsibility. So I feel like some of you could be like, well, which is it? Like, I don't know who to trust. And this is where you have to kind of like know yourself here. You have to know how you feel around other people. You have to know if your life has been good or if it's not been good. You have to know your values. You have to, all of those things. Like this comes down to you. I don't know. It's for some of you, you've got a good thing. You're not sad and you weren't depressed. And then all of a sudden there's been this kind of background energy. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. But I feel like there's a tower moment. Spirit, tell me about this. You do have spiritual help coming in. This force is trying to bust this Two of Cups energy. Try to cause a tower moment here. It's trying to shock and surprise, I think, this Empress energy. And it's by introducing a competitor. It wants to get you alone with this competitor so that you start crushing on this competitor or something, or believing this, like, I don't know. It's like airtight. There's no air that can get in order to create a tower moment, to ruin a connection, to ruin. And they want it to be shocking and sudden and loud and mean and hurtful. And then it will lead you to this path of like being depressed and in your head. It could be some kind of message that's coming in. This is a force. And I just heard a farce, but this is a force. So spiritual help is coming though. Like this tower moment. What is this help? Some kind of sudden ending. Okay. Keep to your faith. I feel like some of you have been praying about this, or again, like, because I'm seeing this, like, stay on your path of the light. Keep saying, I am of God. I believe of God. I am of love. I believe this. These are my principles. Keep asserting these things to yourself. Resolve to stay on your path of the light. Resolve not to be tampered with in whatever way you do. And I feel like Spirit is sending this tower moment in where it's like this person is like thinking that something is going to like occur. And then all of a sudden something's going to end for them. It's going to be a tower. Spirit's reversing this tower moment here. And this person's going to get trapped in their head. This person's going to get stuck in some kind of karmic deal or some kind of bind. This person's going to get caught in their own web. For some, it's like their own web of lies. How are they reversing this, Spirit? The Star. Okay, so honestly, this could be me. This could be like some kind of online tarot reader or our online community. Like the messages that you are receiving, not just through me and through this channel, but maybe through other messages that are telling you to keep your focus on your spirituality, like on the one. Remember, I said this is about being rock solid on the inside. Know what you want, know what you will not settle for, and that way your heart won't be confused. You won't be tempted off your path, because any temptation that you would go for would knock you. It would knock your values. You wouldn't be the person you want to be. You wouldn't be, something like that. So it's like keeping you on this path to the light here. How are they reversing this Tower moment? Oh my gosh. Somebody's catching on to some person here. All of you are the Star. That's so true. Because again, I'm seeing all these like swords of truth pointing back at this death energy, pointing back at this force. Like the truth is coming in, and it's coming in to multiple people here. And this energy is like actually reversing and pointing itself towards like, I know you bring death is what I'm hearing. Like, I know you bring death and I know you bring destruction. Get out, get behind me, Satan. And the Eight of Swords is an energy of being up in your head, because this energy wants you to feel like you're wrong, or that this path to the light is wrong. That this Empress energy, which again, I feel like this is female spirituality. This is like, being well-rounded or something here. It's like, and then, this death energy. How are they reversing this Tower? The King of Swords, by like being very discerning, cutting something off. With a competitor. If something is trying to introduce itself into your life as a competitor, cut it off. Yeah, because otherwise judgment followed. This is a period of judgment. This is some kind of karmic test. So, because, or secrets are going to be revealed or something here. It's trying to put up a block. There is a competitor that's trying to put up a block between yourself, your path to the light, and some kind of Empress energy. Wants you to be up in your head. You don't know what decision to make. You've got to cut yourself free from whatever this is. You've got to defend yourself against this energy. It's not a choice. It's a competitor to the light, to God. It's not a choice. It's presenting as a choice, as a pathway. No, it isn't. No, it's not. Don't even consider this other energy like as a choice. Okay. I don't know. Because I feel scared and I feel intimidated. I feel confused. I feel hopeless. I feel lost. I feel love. I feel like all I want to do is love and be loved. And that's what I want. And I feel like I shouldn't have to do any more than that. And it's unfair that someone would be tampering, like behind the scenes, with some kind of fuckery, to put me at a distance from that, to cause me turmoil, to put an obstacle in my path, to try and trick me. That feels unfair. It's like something I don't even want to be like bothered with in this reading. It's a Tower moment though, to realize that that's what's gone on. To cause a betrayal or a painful ending, potentially of a family situation here. Or what could have been a family situation. There is a couple that is working behind the scenes here. And they're horrible. They're competitive. They're cold. They can't win. Look, the swords of truth are all pointing back. Somebody's going to get caught here. And they're being put under judgment because some kind of King of Swords, which I feel like is an authority figure, is going to find something out. I feel like there could be somebody going over books or something for someone, and something's going to be found out. And it's going to cause an ending. It's going to cause a Tower moment here. Something has been found out in regards to books, bookkeeping, money, records, financial transactions. Somebody has been paid here to interfere. Or there's something wrong with money. So for some of you, it's like there's like a irreputable company or something. I just feel like I want to cry. All right. I don't really know what else to get. This is such a confusing energy, and it's a big force. Like whatever this is, it's a big force. It's not infallible. I feel like it's actually in the process of crumbling and falling itself. Like I feel like this tower moment energy is actually in the process of being bent back around, like towards whoever sent it. If it is attached to a person or whoever was doing it, whoever was manipulating things, playing puppet master behind the scenes, because it feels like this couple that was trying to maneuver people into certain positions, either in order to wound, in order to separate a couple here. In order to put a blockage up, in order to come between the two of them. They did that on purpose. There's a hidden association. Again, follow the money, follow the dots. Something here could be connected to that, or it's already being found out, or it's already being discovered. Keep calm, move with purpose. Here's how you can flip this energy. Keep calm, move with purpose. The Wheel of Fortune has turned. I'm really getting that. And you know, in this deck, the Wheel of Fortune card, it's like, okay, there's two skeletons and one is dressed in like the black dress. The other one's dressed in the white dress, which I kind of take as like funerary garb and like a wedding garb. But it's like the white dress is on top. It's like turning to where the white dress is on top. So whoever's trying to bring death in the situation, I feel like is like going down. Or they're, yeah. So look, lying or manipulation, and then it has the down arrows. Can you see that? It's not on. The lying and manipulation is not actually working here. Painful or uncomfortable communication. Different secondary motive. Protect you from bad news, help a family member, money issues, etc. Different or secondary motive. Protect you from bad news. Oh, okay. Okay, so this Empress that they're trying to frame, okay, consider their actions, okay? If you felt betrayed by this Empress, because they're trying to make it seem like this Empress, or this force is trying to make it seem like this Empress betrayed you. Is there a different secondary motive that could have, whatever you attribute that to in this Empress, okay? Did they have a different, could it have been attributed to something different? Were they trying to protect you from some kind of bad news? Were they trying to help a family member? Is that why they lied to you? It's because they didn't want to tell you their family member's secret because it could have embarrassed them. They weren't trying to lie to you. They were, were they having money issues or something? Like, could there have been a secondary motive? So I feel like they're trying to frame two soulmates here. So consider, like, if it's with an actual Empress, like if they're doing something you don't like or whatever, is there another motive that's positive, with this Empress that they're trying to frame? Then somebody else here who's acting like maybe the savior in the situation, or could it be protecting you from bad news? Or it seems like it's a healthy situation, but is there a different secondary motive? Anyways, because this couple, there's a different motive behind the scenes. Treating trust and kindness as a weakness. Okay, so somebody's treating trust and kindness as a weakness, and some of you may actually have to show up in a King of Swords or Queen of Swords energy of, these are my boundaries. I just heard I'm married. This is my boundary. Or like, you're married or something here. Like, you may have to like actually kind of lay down the law here. You know your partner listens when you communicate your needs and feelings. Do you know that about your partner? Do you have a partner that more or less does listen to you? Like when you communicate your needs and feelings, even if you don't always agree on things, or still stuff might get rocky sometimes. Overall, like, do you have a partner that knows that? Somebody's trying to induce miscommunication or misunderstanding. It's like they're trying to cast somebody's words in a negative light or something here. What specifically do you need to feel safe again? Get help, use your resources. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Again, there's somebody here that has like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. These are awful, evil people, terrible people, and they don't care that they're evil either. This person will be watching this right now and hear me call them evil, and they're like cold on the inside. They're like a reptile, a snake. It's powerful. This is a powerful force, but you got to trust that it's because you're rising up in some way. There's some kind of period of stagnation. It's Pisces energy, so it's some kind of period of stagnation, of loss, of something here that is meant to make you think. It's meant to weaken you so that you'll take anything. That you're desperate and you'll take anything. When you take that anything, it's going to introduce a competitor that has maybe been paid to be there and drift you from your course, to rival someone, to stagnate a relationship. This could be being found out, like web of lies here. What is wrong with people? I feel like someone here has like an immense amount of time on their hands, and it's to try to trap someone. I feel like they're trying to drive somebody back towards them or into their web. Maybe it is this Empress. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so I don't know what to make of this. Yeah. They didn't earn. Yeah. So I just feel like keep connecting with the truth. Remember who you are, your principles, your values. Know what it is that you want. Don't be deterred from your path. Something here is meant to trap you, to have you depressed through some kind of false partnership. There's an attempt at inserting a rival here to get you stuck. It's meant to kill your hope. It's meant to make you depressed. But first they have to make you think that this other person is doing that to you. And I just want to make sure, like, you know that that's not what I'm trying to do here. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Romantic love affair. Sex fix, secret lover. Impersonator. Wants to be like you, acts like, dresses like. Okay, so for some of you, this is like very single white female. Somebody could have, this is so crazy. This is so next level, but somebody could have been sent in to mimic somebody that you like, to impersonate that energy. Or somebody just wants to be like you, and so they might be trying to like intercept your love. Screenshot, getting evidence, proof, facts. Somebody here could be trying to get involved with someone in a romantic love affair that is secret so that they can get proof, like text messages or something, in order to ruin a relationship. Always partying, legal issues. I feel like this impersonator is always partying and has legal issues. And they move in silence. Okay, I just asked, how is this person going to get caught? Karmic friends. Can't fully trust them. Tension, secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So this could be a friend group where there's competition and somebody wants to sabotage this person and what they're doing and their success and their endeavors. They could have told some kind of secret. They could have been making moves in silence. This also could be a friend that knows that they can't fully trust these other people and that there is some kind of tension and there is some kind of secret competition, so this person could rat them out or something. Yeah, Queen Rising. So there's a friend in their friend group that's this Queen Rising energy that wants to compete with them, that wants to step into their power and be praised for coming up to the spotlight. I think that's also like true for this other person, which is why they're kind of competing or something here with this Empress energy, or wants to frame them. But this other person is trying to rise up within this. So either they're going to throw this person under the bus and they know exactly what they're doing. They're just absolutely more ruthless than like what's going on. Or there's somebody that knows that they're dealing with some ruthless person. Yeah, same shit, different day. Broke ass. So it could have been that they were promised money and that they didn't actually get it. And there's just always, scarcity tactics. They're catching on that it's like same shit, different day. Cyberbully. You are being bullied online, or they are, and have suffered from it. Somebody here could be having car issues, or it's like obvious that there's problems in going from here to there, something like that. So, okay, how can you shift this energy? Again, I just feel like this is tough because I feel like these are the kinds of people, this energy is turning on itself. You're going to make it very public. Okay. There's no honor amongst thieves. That's so true. Okay. So how, is there anything you can do? Broke ass dusted off. What does that mean? Threatening boss daddy. Cyberbully. Travel, clout hungry. Says anything, does anything, makes shit up, dramatic. Don't travel with anybody. Somebody here might be chasing clout by starting drama because they hold a grudge. Or they were hired by someone who holds a grudge and is creeping on you. Okay. This is crazy. It's so creepy. It's so insidious and it's so behind the scenes because it feels energetic to me. Pray. I would just pray to God. But I feel like this energy is like, I feel like there's been divine help sent into this situation and this energy is turning in on itself. But you may have to buckle down and like hold down. And again, I just want to remind you, like the web is webbing is what I'm hearing. So it's like, find what's moving behind the scenes here. There's two things or two people that are connected and they don't seem like they're connected. And they are working against you. Or working to frame an empress. And again, this could be in the brain where it's like there's a substance that you're ingesting, like a liquid or a medicine, and it's having an effect with something else. And somebody wants you to think it's the fault of an empress. Maybe that it's your fault, or that's something that you're doing, or that an empress is to blame, somebody that's actually responsible for a lot in your life, like a lot of stability, a lot of love. Yeah. I'm really at a loss for words. This is some kind of very evil, very nefarious force that works through people. Web of connections is what I'm hearing. Dirty money is what I'm hearing. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. This feels big. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that there because I'm just overwhelmed by the energy that I picked up on. It's so evil that I'm just shocked. Okay. Been watching your lives for a year now, and this is definitely the one where I feel the gross energy the most. Because you know what? I feel like it's being unmasked. Because there's something very insidious here that's like operating behind the scenes. And it's either energetically or it's like, again, within your own mind. Like this could, again, be that like weird substance connection. So for instance, this could be that like this empress could be like your doctor, you know, or your therapist. But they don't know that you're ingesting something else, or they don't know that you've got something going on. And so it's maybe designed to make you not trust that person that is actually a very beautiful person and a very trustworthy person. You just need to have, it's trying to prevent a conversation, you know, where you don't have the conversation between you and this other person and just kind of say like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Or, you know, it could be something like that. And it's just like the forces that be, because actually this medicine is very helpful for you to be on, or, but they don't want you to get to the bottom of that to figure out what is actually causing the issue and then get it out of the way. They don't want you to do that. They just want you to blame an empress, you know, or, yeah, it's like something needs to be fleshed out here and they don't want you to do that. They just want you to blame an empress or frame an empress. And there's money been exchanged. I feel like there's money been exchanged. To like intercept you or to frame something. This is insidious. And for some of you, this is like a hidden network of people. I don't know. Some of you, like maybe this is like you operate in the upper echelons of society, or you've got money or something, or somehow you got put on some of these people's radar. But, and you think that there's a sequence of events that's unrelated, but it's very related. And you just need to pay attention to the things that have gone on in your life that are not natural, that have unfolded in a very weird way, and they're actually connected. You actually have a competitor. You have a force that is opposing you. Okay. Weaving in and around us. Yeah. I felt like I haven't been able to breathe for a while because of this. I feel like my ex paid people to step in my way. Wow. I'm just really appalled by the enormity, the darkness, the ignorance, the covertness of this energy. They're trying to capture. They're trying to catch someone. You know, and part of this is making you feel confused and making you feel like you don't know who to trust. And you don't, that's what part of this is. All right, I'm going to move on to the general messages here. All right, Spirit. What general messages? Okay, shift. I just looked up. I've got my camera balanced on some books here, and I just saw something that says a shift in being. A shift in being. So this is shadow work. There's some kind of shift going on. A shift. Spirit wants to talk about a shift. Family and soulmate. Heartbreak. Okay, Spirit, what are you trying to talk about? Spiritual awakening. Okay, a shift in being. Ghosted. Disappear, silence, ignored, rejected. Okay, I feel like there's something coming in about like there's a spiritual awakening. It's been a shift in your being. So some of you have gone on this process. It's been this kind of long, dark, arduous process. It maybe has had you up in your head because you're clearing out the spider webs of your head. But you have been brave enough. You have gone in there with kind of like your torch. And I'm hearing that phrase from Lord of the Rings, that elven princess woman that says when she hands Samwise Gamgee, okay, which is like the faithful friend to Frodo. So I feel like some of you, this is so strange, but it's like Frodo is bearing some sort of ring, and I don't know what this is. This is some sort of energy, or because the ring card in the deck that I have is like a contract card. And so you have some kind of, I think, spiritual contract with spirit to bear some kind of energy in the world, or to protect it, or to go on some kind of quest or journey. And don't blow this too out of proportion, because I feel like you might not even really be aware of this. This is just kind of you awakening, like, or shifting in a certain way. And you have, I think, more than done that. And I'm seeing this opening. I'm seeing kind of like a portal energy that's actually opening up here for you. There's some kind of paradox energy in this, because I feel like, and now I'm seeing Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, like, and for some of these does tie back into pile number 3, but it's like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, where she recognizes that she's been on this long journey, but she says like, if I realize that if it's not in my own backyard, I never really lost it to begin with. So this is like there's a door that's opening for you. It feels dimensional. It feels like a portal. It feels energetic. So you've undergone this like shift in being, and it's wherever it is that you are. So it's not like you need to really move anywhere or anything at this current time. It's like the door is kind of like opening up, and I feel like you're going to be pulled through it, or you can just walk through it, and then you're in like a different energy, and this force or this energy like cannot affect you anymore. And whatever it is might just ghost, or like kind of just drop away, or Finances, money problems, work, material things, or success. Heartbreak, hurt, betrayal, grief, or disappointment. Yeah, so I mean, this ghosted energy, heartbreak over finances. What is that saying? Addiction. A toxic relationship. Okay, so this energy that's trying to throw you off your path, that's trying to rival either for this empress to pull her off her path, or against this empress to have you confused as to, you know what I'm saying, whatever. It might just ghost. It might just ghost you as you elevate in your energy. Some of you have been through this in the past with someone and you didn't realize this was what it was. It's like you elevated in your energy and then someone just like ghosted. They just kind of like dropped away because maybe a new love was actually sent in to intercept them. This is wild. A third party. And maybe it led to heartbreak, but signs and synchronicities, some kind of unexpected unfinished business. So it could be this person coming back from the past. I don't know. It just feels like there's a shift in your energy. Or maybe this person has also had a shift in their energy. I don't know. Just be careful. 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 Fated meeting. Meant to be destiny. Predetermined encounter. Divine intervention. What is going on here? Serendipity, catalyst, supernatural, and karma. You know what I really think? I think that you've had a shift in being. I think that there was some kind of fated meeting. It had to do with karma, and I'm hearing karmic. And it could have been like a magnetic attraction or whatever. And then I feel like you had a shift, such a radical shift in being, or that's the path that you're on, that it's going to break the karma and it's going to open up a different portal, a different pathway. And that's going to be experienced by you as some kind of ghosting of like this energy or this offer. It might lead to kind of some kind of heartbreak, either over love or over some kind of finances, but this is a very good thing. This is actually a divine intervention because that was a path that was trying to pollute you. It was trying to pull you astray. It was trying to brandish something here. And there was like a divine intervention because there was a hidden motive. There was something concealed here. There was something disguised or lying. And it could have been a relationship with some kind of friends. It could have been some kind of like, that would have caused you fear and you would have gotten entangled with the snake. So it could, for some of you, this already happened in your past. It could also be trying to pull you back. I don't know. And this person could have been moved away from you. Because the romantic feelings that you have with this person will always involve some kind of anxiety. Or make you feel like you want to take a gamble. But you got to read between the lines. Hidden meaning, vague, speculate, implicit. Okay, Spirit, what else are you trying to say here? What's the general message? Okay, journey. A shift in being is leading you on some kind of journey. Oh my gosh, bad reputation, legal issues. So somebody here could have a very bad reputation and like be going through legal issues. They could be trying to keep that quiet. They're haunted by some kind of memories or flashbacks of something here. And they're secretly moving and they're trying to fake flex. They could be trying to floss or act something here, but they actually have they could be trying to get out of legal issues and they're very clout hungry. And your light irritates their demons. Okay, so Spirit acts rich, flosses money, acts fancy, shows off. Okay, this message, I feel like I'm missing a message that Spirit is trying to get me to come through. Haunted. Halloween could be significant here. Okay, so just let's get just a general message here. You would not even be shocked by hearing my story. Maybe you would. They wanted to make me appear crazy. And throwing money at her as they do during celebrations to a woman in the community. What? What celebration? In Oriental societies, They dance around a woman and throw money at her. Listen, like, I'm not opposed, but like, that sounds like a great ceremony. Like, that should be birthdays. Okay, so what spirit, what general messages are you trying to come through here? Okay, there's a journey. Okay. This is hard for me to explain, okay? Because we got the Ace of Swords came out, but look, the sword is upside down and it's in the middle of this skull. So I feel like there's something where it's like it takes time and it takes a shift in being and it takes a journey in order for the truth to actually be seen and to come out here. And then I'm seeing like the sun rise behind the cloud. So it's like this. Again, I'm seeing you go through this portal where this energy, this force can no longer touch you because you've elevated, you've had this like shift in being. And that's the time energy. It's like TikTok. And then I feel like this chariot energy is coming to get you. It's coming to intercept you. It's coming to like kind of take you on your way here. And this is going to be contained. Like this betrayer force is going to be contained. There's some kind of sneaking around energy. Somebody here may be coming up out of this because they could have had some kind of reflection and they're like getting up out of this and they're taking responsibility for what it is that they've done and they're starting a new journey. They're just, and maybe even a new business, like whoever. So that the karmic friend that was maybe like having legal troubles and somebody was trying to pay them off to interfere with you or fuck with you in some kind of way. So I just heard the word degenerate. I just heard like, this is somebody who tries to take people in a bad situation that like needs money or they're hopeless or whatever. And they try to suck them into some like crime organization or something. This sounds so nuts. Or they try to induce that upon people by controlling a network or a web or something. So somebody here could have been sneaking around and they no longer want to be in that energy. So they're taking responsibility. And I do think that they're going to start some kind of, they're going to be asked to take a leap of faith here, like with this full energy. They're going to maybe come clean or they're going to start something new. And then I think they might start their own business, but they've got to leave a toxic relationship behind from their past that has maybe pulled them into some kind of criminal activity or some kind of, it's negative, whatever this is. And I do think it was motivated by greed in a certain capacity. And they have to swallow something, some kind of truth. They need to, it might hurt to say. There's something here that might hurt to say, but they need to say it. And that's what's actually going to shift their fortune. Because this person, whoever was paid to be a dickweed, to pull someone off of their path, needs to stop doing that. They need to come clean. It might hurt for them to say. They might need to admit something. And that's what's actually going to shift the energy because they got entangled into this dark energy. It like fully owns their ass. They're trapped in that web. And I think for some, that's the depressional energy that they're in. They're like, I don't know. I was paid to like intercept this person. Like I might hurt to say. That's what's going to shift their energy. And it's actually going to bring in real love. And look, the Ace of Pentacles, some kind of message. It's going to move their insecurity. They're going to stabilize after this ending. And I think for some of them, it's like they might have a happy marriage. They might have a happy home life, and they might start some kind of business, and all of that's going to be very happy. It's working in because they're now switching their allegiance to like the side of the good guys. Stefan, thank you so much. Just finished watching Pile 2. Thanks. And then the strength energy here that's coming through. It's like they need to be a part of wrangling this like snake, making it impotent, making it not have the connections, the force, the power that it once had. They need to gain their own strength, and that's what's going to lead to their own happiness here. And they've got a spiritual inheritance coming in if they switch sides. But it'll never come in with involving with snakes because these people are just trying to trap this person. They're going to always keep them needy. There's something here that's always going to keep them needy. That's how this force works. So again, I don't know if it's coming through a organized crime is what I keep hearing, like some kind of group network of organized crime that causes tower moments and tries to like deflect judgment here on people that don't deserve it, that they feel competitive towards, that they can't win or dominate, that they want to cause some kind of like stagnation too. So they try to, like a hydra, they try to kind of like get people that are needy and desperate to like affect them. This also could be, again, like coming through some kind of medicine or something. Like it could be the same things, but the same variables, but it's not people, it's like other things to lead to a tower. But I feel like that's part of the script flipping here because there's people that are involved in this organized crime or this network. I don't know what we're talking about. Okay, we've gotten off the rails here. But there's people involved in this organized crime or this organized network that know they all have different parts of the truth. And it could start a reverse domino effect I'm just hearing, I don't want to be a player no more. Or it's like, I don't want to be a piece of shit anymore. It actually feels really bad. I realize that that's why I do so much drugs, is because that's why I literally just heard that. That's why I do so much drugs, is because I hate myself, and I have every reason to hate myself and to wallow in shame. And at the very least, I can make sure that I do not cause harm to good people. And I think they could start a movement, because this person actually has maybe more pull, more social pull, where they can kind of say to people, this feels like shit. Don't you not want to do this? And then they're going to get these people. They could actually get these people. Flip the script is what I heard. These people try to frame other people, but I think they can get them. I actually think with the legal system, some kind of justice energy, they can get them. Because there's, haunted. Somebody here's like haunted. Memories, flashbacks, trauma. There's side effects here to something. There's unintended consequences here. And like somebody is like very haunted. Also because potentially they love people that they've been like foolish to or a dick to. Somebody here is like trying to make, somebody could have hurt you in the past. And this is somehow tied in with this horrible crime network group. And they're like looking over to see if you're okay, because they are haunted by what they did, because they know that you're like an innocent or a sweetheart, that you didn't deserve it, that they're a piece of shit for doing whatever it was that they did, and that they are going to get what's coming to them. And that they need, this person has like skeletons in their closet. They've got to grieve this. They tried to maybe use strategy. It's scorpionic energy, so it could be sex, power, hidden agenda, secretive, in order to gain. They tried to do that. They tried to hide in order to gain, but really they've just lost, because you don't collude with the devil and win. Nobody actually thinks that that's a path to winning. You know that the devil isn't going to fulfill his promises. You do know that, and like on some level. And so I feel like whatever this person's gained, it's taken more from them, and it always will, than it will ever give to them. So these people are going to be in for quite a surprise when they're waiting for the bill to come due, when they're waiting for something to come in for them, because it's not going to happen. Karma's coming for these people. And there's somebody here who is a betrayer, who is double crossed, like they were paid to double cross someone, and they need to come clean, and they're being given an opportunity, because I just heard the Almighty God is like going to rain down hellfire on these people. So there's people who are kind of innocent in their own way. They got wrapped up in this because they have an addiction they need to pay for, or they got themselves in legal trouble, and it's like, don't you want out of this legal trouble? Well, here, I can get you out of this legal trouble. Like, those kind of people, they've got a window of time, and it feels like 3 days. I just heard a very short window of time to flip, to come clean, to tell the truth, to sever ties with the dark forces. This is force energy, to sever ties with the dark forces, to come clean, to say the thing that's hard to say, to set someone free, or to set someone off, like to let them know that something is like coming for them, to who you worked with, who hired you, like, this is so crazy. Let them know that. And also you need to be speaking to authorities. There's some authorities here that I feel like you can go to, because I feel like these people are well connected, but I do feel like there's authorities that you can go to. Inside scoop, a closer look, nosy up in your, to take a closer look at something, at a boss. And I feel like there could be something that they can put on their car. There's something to do with a car, or taking a closer look. But this is all, there's a quick turnaround, because this energy, this negative force, whatever negative, nasty plan, it's not going through. Okay, it's not. This is how this is going to work. It's not going through. This energy is turning back around on the person who sent it. And this person might have thought they had everything all tied up here. There's been a series of events. There's been different variables. They're trying to get somebody caught in like some kind of web. They could have, again, paid people to do this. Follow the money. Pay attention to who is who and what is what. And there's... I'm flashing back to another reading that I did a while back, and it was like somebody that got like led down this like dark path, and they were like, I don't even know how this happened, because it's like, this is the kind of story that you hear in our society where it's like the high school to prison pipeline we talk about in America, where it's like, okay, you grow up in the hood and you don't have very much money, and then you end up stealing a candy bar, and now you're in trouble with the legal system. Okay, so it's something like that where it's like stupid, and it doesn't mean that this person is like a bad person or anything, but then it's like, now your life is kind of in this trouble, and it's like, oh well, it's like becomes kind of like a gateway to much more negative crimes, because like, well, then we can help you out. Now you're involved with the wrong people, the wrong friends, the wrong connections that karmically are just effing everything, you know? So it's very much, it feels like that. And it feels like now I just heard, yo, nothing good starts in a getaway car. Okay, so this is your off ramp right now, and it's a short window where spiritual forces are going to send a car for you, a chariot to come take you away from this, where the forces are of light. This plan is being enacted, where this is not going to go through. It's all in the process of being like flipped back around on these people. I feel if you are one of those people and you're watching me to see if your plan is working, I feel like the fact that this message is coming out, there's nothing stopping it. Like whatever is like being put into motion, it's like going to unfold that way. But there's people, these like kind of people here that know more than they think they know. They know who they talk to. They know who hired them. They know like, you know, whatever. They need to come clean. They need to come out. And they need to participate with authorities in bringing this like energy down. They got 3 days to come to terms with that, to make their decision. And then they're going to be spared a lot of these repercussions. They could get some kind of immunity deal or something. It would work out the best for them. But they've got 3 days. And this is a very short leash because I don't know what these people have been involved in. Or what they were planning on doing. And I really think that it was to a light worker. It was to somebody who is absolutely off limits as far as like the divine is concerned. So this is not going to go through. It's not going to go through. Broke ass. Cock blocking. Jackpot. Yeah. Your light irritates their demons. So if you have been a demon, consider not being a demon. It's like there's a group of people here where it's like you're not a demon. You're not a sociopath. But you've gotten wrapped up with them and you've gotten wrapped up in bad things. There's a difference here, and Spirit's recognizing that. So it's like, come to the light. Okay? This was crazy. There is a family. This could be like a family crime organization or something. This family, the truth has not come out about this family in like a long time. They've gotten away with something for a long time, but TikTok, judgment is here. Like I saw the judgment energy. Look, there's somebody sneaking up behind them. That's Spirit. There's somebody sneaking up behind them that has all their secrets or access to all their files or something. And when they go to lift something here, it's just going to be like skulls. There's somebody in this person's books or something. They know. There's somebody here that knows something. It already could be that somebody ratted on this person. So, and because I think there's more than one person or people that work for this like crime family or something. So it could be that one person has already ratted them out. And I think this person has some kind of secretive knowledge, scorpionic knowledge. They betrayed this person. But this is like when you betray an asshole, you're on the side of God. So yay, good for you. But there's somebody here, and I think this person has knowledge of money, transactions, some kind of schmegdual, something to do with smut. I just heard some kind of something, sexual enterprise. They have some kind of secretive, intimate information that they've already given over to authorities. They've already been monitoring this person. They already have everything that they need. So I think if you're hearing this family is going down, or something is going down here. And if you're on the periphery, you have 3 days, is what I'm hearing, to go come clean, to go work with authorities so that you don't go down with it, because they're going to flush the tentacles out of this. They're going to find who's connected to what, who received money for what. They have the books. So they have some kind of books or some kind of connections, they're smoking out this like hidden network here. They've got a lot of it. They've been piecing this together. I feel these people have been surveilled for a while, actually. They just didn't know. They really think they're slick, and they got away with something for a long time, so it made them arrogant. It made them sloppy. This energy is turning around, and it has to do, they targeted the wrong empress, is what I'm getting. This person is either off limits spiritually, or she has connections. I don't know. I think, yeah. There was something here that was like, the buck stops with this person. You don't mess with this person. There's something here about that. And I think it even might be with some of the people that they have employed to do their negative acts, where it's like, this person is a great person. And a lot of people are like, yeah, it was fine when it's like petty criminals or something, and I didn't feel bad for the person that I was hurting. But this empress or this community or they're good people. And I refuse to just hurt good people, you know? I stole a candy bar when I was 7. I'm not a fucking sociopath. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a doorway here. It's like of no return, where it's like you're no longer the kid that stole a candy bar. If you hurt this person, if you do what's being asked of you towards this person, you're no longer a kid that stole a candy bar. You are a demon, and your soul is put in jeopardy, and you're getting flung out of something here, and there's major consequences coming down on your head. But you've got 3 days to come clean and work with authorities. This was a weird message. I worry about my children so much because my ex has them brainwashed. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's tough. They got the numbers. Thank you, God. Sure was crazy, even crazier. There's truth to it. You know, and like, I've had to work up my way up to giving readings like this because the truth is oftentimes crazier than fiction, or it's like stranger than fiction. I've learned that in my life where like you don't think that people are capable of doing the things that they're doing, and then all of a sudden you're confronted with the fact that they are. And like, how many times do I have to live that experience before I'm like, this is next level bullshit. This is like next level crazy. But it occurs. Look at the world that we live in, you know? Yeah, I just heard, there's this book that I'm interested in reading. It's political. I haven't read this book, but it's by this woman, and I'm just going to go ahead and say her name, Whitney Webb. I've been listening to some of her stuff. I find her fascinating. She's had to move her family to Chile, but she's like got this encyclopedic knowledge about things. But she wrote this book. It's a 2-volume series. It's called One Nation Under Blackmail, and I haven't seen it, and I haven't even been able to process through all of her information because there's so much of it that she throws out where she's like, this person worked for this company, was connected to this, was connected to that. And it was just like, it's so much for me to fact check and to like try to even piece together if it's real or like, but I'm so impressed by her and like her knowledge. And I'm hearing that like One Nation Under Blackmail. I feel like there's something here that could be blackmail. Like there could be certain things where it's like I feel like these people, this is so crazy, but I feel like they hang out in bars, you know, it's like, or they hang out somewhere like that to get people to do something that then they get caught for. And it was blackmail to begin with that then hangs over their head. But, then I think somebody else from this like organization comes in and says, well, I can help you out. And those two people are connected and they don't even realize that they're connected, but they are. And so then it's like, I need you to come in and do, it seems it's good cop, bad cop. It's like that person caught you, but this person's your savior. It's victim, rescuer, persecutor that goes on here. And they're actually persecuting this person. And it's like the trouble that it's almost like just get in trouble. Okay. Just do 6 months, okay? And then get out and have your freedom. Move, start over. You know, it's like something here like that where it's not worth it to play these people's game and to like let them have you on a leash or something. Like, no. This is ridiculous, whatever's gone on here. But yeah, it's done. This feels big. This feels like I don't know why I want to say it feels like a crime family. I'm laughing because it seems so unreal, but it feels like there's a crime family or there's just a family whose business is into like dirty dealings and all this is being found out behind the scenes. It's all being found out behind the scenes. I just heard government, they could be working, like the government could be investigating these people. Man, I don't know. This has been crazy. So I don't even know if you would be aware that you've gotten wrapped up in this or targeted by this because Spirit could have just dangled you like a little bait because Spirit's not going to let anything happen to you because you've had this shift in being. Or maybe it was karmic that you were going to come in and be involved in this, but you've had such an elevation or shift in your being. And it's because of this Empress, which I feel like is us. This is us. This is like our group. This is female spirituality. I just heard sexuality as well, but it's like that well-rounded Empress energy trying to be the Empress. Like you're clearing your karmas to such a degree. You've had this shift in being. It's opened this portal. It's opened a new path because karma is not about punishment. Karma is about lessons. And I feel like you've learned yours. And so you, and honestly, I think it has to do with trust. And I think it has to do with self-blame. Because I think there was something here where something could have happened again, like in a bar or something. And you could have blamed yourself. And then it got you spiraled in like with the wrong crowd or something. But either some of you have been cutting ties with this crowd like consistently. Or even if you don't know that this is what they're involved in or something. It's like you've done so much here that Spirit is like, oh no. No. Like your prayers are absolutely being answered. They're being listened to. Talk to God is what I'm hearing. Talk to God. Cry in the shower. Like, fling yourself like before God is what I'm hearing. Just throw yourself and say like, I am yours. I want out of this. I don't like these people. I don't care for these people. I got involved with the wrong people. I stole a candy bar when I was 7. This shouldn't be a life sentence. You know, like Think you're a light worker. Yeah. They let me in, then I woke up. There's people like this as well, and those people will be on their own journey back to the light. But I didn't finish that sentence before where it's like, I'm remembering this reading where it was like, somebody got led down this path of darkness, and they're sleeper agents for the divine. They don't know it because it's not like happening, on meat space, but it's like they saw every single goalpost on the way in. They don't realize it, but the people they saw and what they saw, it might be fragments to them, but it was gems. Spirit made sure they saw just the right person. They saw just the right two people talking. They saw just the right room, doorway, name on the door. They saw something here. So when they wake up and they realize that they've been full of shit and that they've lived this horrible life and it's not worth it, whatever they think they're going to gain out of it, they're not gaining. Okay. They're losing way more than I think some of them might be just kind of waking up to this. When they go to the authorities, they're actually going to have concrete things. They might not see the value in it. They might say, I don't know if this is helpful or not, but it is. There's some kind of like domino, because spirit is also moving behind the scenes here. This is like force energy, like at work, that I feel like you were caught in the middle of here. And the light side has its own energy as well. And there's salvation, and there is justice, and there's healing being offered to these people who got wrapped up in this, but like used and like for the wrong reasons. It's like, wake up, declare your allegiances with spirit. Cut ties with these people and actually have your actions back that up. Go to the authorities. If you can't trust the authorities in your own jurisdiction, go somewhere else. Try to I feel like your steps will be protected if you sound that alarm. There's been a path set before you where you're protected if you go down that route. 3 days. All right. So anyways, Persephone. Okay, that is that. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about this the other day, weirdly, like in the shower. This Persephone energy where it's like very, very sweet, very innocent. But Persephone means bringer of death. And I feel like if Persephone decides she doesn't love you anymore, that you're absolutely not worth her time, that you're not worth saving. If you've betrayed a Persephone and that death energy is like evolved where she cuts the ties with you, transmutes that relationship, or doesn't care whether you live or die, is what I just heard. That is what's kicking in some kind of like major death energy. It's a lot of power actually on a spiritual level because of who this person is, because of their innocence. They've kind of been given this power where it's like if they make up their mind about somebody, the spiritual forces go in because this person's perspective is valued that much because they're such an innocent. For an innocent to hate you or for an innocent to think you've got to go, So, yeah. And this, yeah, it never hurt anyone ever. Okay. She becomes Hades, her masculine side. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. So this has been a long reading today. This has been a weird reading today. I hope this makes sense to those of you it's meant to make sense for. This feels forces. That's soul. Path of the light. He's illuminating that path of the light, that sun energy. Follow your philosophy. Follow your selfhood. Get your balls back, I just heard. Anyways, that's what I have. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to go have a taco. I suggest you eat as well. Thank you guys for being my people. Love yourself. Love yourself. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to have to process this one for I'm going to have to process this reading. That never happens to me where I'm like, I don't even know what just occurred.
We'll have more Truth Beam Fresh Start and Head Bush available this week.
Okay, great. Alex said we will have more Truth Beam, the Truth Serum. That's one of our spells we use. The candles, the Truth Beam cord cutting. We're gonna have more of those this week. We'll announce it on the community board. We're gonna have more Fresh Start, and we're gonna have more Hedge Witch if you are interested in those because we've been sold out for a hot ass minute. Catherine, thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats today, for placing me in the middle of our female oriental party and throwing money at me. I loved that. And so if you're interested in those things, I wonder if our candles have also helped to spark this energy as well. That's what I'm gonna think, baby. That's what I'm gonna think. Yeah, so I'm gonna go eat and process. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my people, and I love you, and I hope that life is good, and stay close to the people you love. I just heard. All right.
Say bye, Sol.
Bye. The 5th time you read my message. I never get recognized on YouTube. I cannot believe it. I'm so glad. I came in 20 minutes ago and you just described my life as I know it. Oh my gosh, this is such heavy energy. I pray you find rest. Like, honestly, for those of you that this is resonating for, I pray you find rest and help and healing and a safe boundary. I pray you find that. Okay. Bye. Bye, people.